Alrighty, baby. Let's just get this shit started. Let's just... Oh, here it is. Live refresh. Quaint ensemble. Got that going on. Tags. PSO2. PSO2. NGS. Fantasy Star. One line 2. New title for this game is so long. Oh yeah, category gaming. I wonder if I type in PSO2, it actually can. You start online to New Genesis. Let's go. It actually knows how to do that. Should I put a thumbnail on here? If I can get a thumbnail for this shit. I had a bomb in. There it is. Here we go. Oh shit, did I put myself in the right category? Which? Let's check. Alright. Let's open up Discord. Alrighty. Okay. I have the right mic on. You hear me, Kazino? Oh yeah, the new seasonal event, right? Oh yeah, we have some stuff to do now. Oh. I'm gonna be playing this game even more now. Let's go. All right. Audio check. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Hold on. I'll try it again. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Try it again. Check 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my sound's pretty good. I thought it was pretty low at first, but that was just my phone having shit audio. Cool. Alright, oh yeah, anti-micro, I kinda need that too, don't I? Alright. Limit time. Wait, it was delayed? Okay. I thought it ended on time, but whatever. What title select? Enemies. Minus for 10. Oh, really? Nice. Alright, let's get the free SG scratch. We might as well use it, right? Talk to Andy. Fighting with the party. Let's see. The weeklies, let's go. Alright. We have a lot of... Wait. They put Zandy here? Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. Wait, which block is this? Wrong block. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. What is... Oh my god. It's feeling like an actual MMO now. Let's go. Alright, put me in block. Nobody's in block 10. Oh no. You know, I'm going to block 10. Fuck what everybody else thinks. Let me turn this off. Well, actual. You know what? I might actually just keep that there. Yeah, well. Wait, why aren't you turning on? Alt Shift 10. Alt Shift. Wait, is it? Alt Shift F10. Can I turn it on? The fuck? Is it because I'm streaming? You know what? I might try streaming with GeForce Experience soon. Just to be honest, just having the chat on screen would be fucking amazing. I'll do that another day. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't turn this on. Why is OBS taking up so much GPU? Holy fuck. Alright. Oh yeah. What the fuck am I doing? Let's see. Not really my style. Pretty nice looking. Be a pretty cool cast outfit, I think, actually. Put this with like a cast head. Be pretty nice. Pretty nice. Kind of like this one. Pretty decent one. Did he just disappear? Okay. What about this one? Pretty nice. Nice. These are pretty nice too. These are actually really nice. This is what I'm looking for though. Oh fuck. Hold up. You know, I thought I would like it a lot more. Not sure I like it as much anymore. I really thought I would like this hair a lot more. Maybe if I shorten it. 10 million! Eat a fat dick. Jesus. I don't need anything for eyes. Not since I'm wearing the mask. I do like this though. Yeah, this mask is pretty neat. They didn't show us this. It's sick. Hmm. 30 times to get exactly what I want. And then mini glider. I'm not exactly sure if I even want, because that hairstyle is a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. No. Kind of want this emote. Nobody has this one yet. Nice. Oh yeah, the hair prices went drastically down already. Fuck it, I'll do one. I'll do one 12-pack, I think. I'll get the hair with the no featured items? That's crazy. I feel robbed. I feel robbed. Alright. Put these at 1 million. This you know what? I'm keeping that actually. That thing's really cool. I don't need this though. Whoopsie. It's wholly overpriced. $2 million. I don't even want this. My head say, who the fuck's gonna? Everything's trash. Not the outfit though. I might as well keep this. Alright. Oh. Oh yeah. I'll keep that. It's a little too good to get rid of. AIS snowsuit.
What is it you need? Come again.
And you can't put it up for sale, really? I might as well put it up in here then. that was the wrong storage. Whoops. Wait, I put these all in character storage, really? Oopsie. Alright. There's something else I got. The music, right? Where even is that? We'll just... I can't lock it. Do anything sell yet?
Come again.
Alright, can I buy the hairstyle? That's like the main thing I want. If not, I guess we'll just farm for a bit. I wonder how much these emotes are going for. 7 million. Pretty expensive steel. $6.5 mil, bro. Expensive. If they're AFK or not. No. They're here.
What is it you need? Come again. Come again. What
Take the price it one more time. I'm looking at the wrong shit. Oh my god. There we go. There, hair. Here we go. Ming Mei.
What is it you need?
Ming Mei hair. Come on.
Come again.
I need more. I might need to buy some more AC as well, honestly. So I can roll twice on the next one at least. 4,400 AC to roll 24 times. Hold up. What did it? I might as well talk to Zandy, right?
How are you?
Oh. We have this mag form, nice. Okay. Tiger Cape. Special Scratch. Tempestus Sword plus 20. They already made it plus 25 too. Damn. Yeah, there is a shit ton of farming to do. There is a shit ton of farming to do, bro. There we go. Oh yeah. What's the daily task? Elnoth, perfect. That's where I wanted to go anyways. What is this? Tempesta El Mari. 300,000. Son of a bitch. Alright. Well, we're buying some more AC. Bang, $10 more. For the load, what the fuck? There we go. There we go, it worked. Alright. Alright.
What is it you need? Come again.
We are doing more AC scratch. We're scratching a lot more than I expected. Oh. Um. Looks like we might as well. There's no reason not to. Alright. I only got one emote though. That's kind of sad. But if all this sells, I should be able to buy the emote and the hair. I need to sell one of these. Whoops. That'll definitely sell. That's a really good item. And nobody wants the male outfits. I don't need those. Jesus. But at least selling stuff in bulk helps out. Yeah, nobody wanted the Moonlight headset. Might as well make this shit like 100,000. We'll make it 150 grand. Nobody wants that shit, bro. Nobody wants this shit either. I like those eyebrows, just in case. You might as well make this shit 100K. Nobody's buying this. Oopsie. $600K. Nobody's buying this either. Maybe. We'll make this 200K. Nobody's buying this either. That's all that's worth. It's not that good. Alright. I don't have very many slots left. Okay. Alright, can I buy the hair now? Did I buy that? Please. Ooh, yeah. Find the mat first. Oh yeah, let's use all this. Confused. which way do you... So if you go this way... Why does it... What? That's so confusing. So you have to go like diagonal for this shit to work? The directional input for it makes no sense. Oh my god.
Come again.
Everything so.
Come again.
Um
Come again. Welcome.
There's so much stuff. Alright, edit. Head. Let's look at this hair. Please be good. It's like cutting into the mask slightly. It only moves this. No. I just don't like how it cuts through the mask, bro. These are both NGS items. The collision. Oh, please. No. It's fucked. It's fucked. See, the bangs on this one go like over top of it. Because they stick out more. We'll see how it looks. I might get used to it and like it more. If I see it like in motion more. Ooh. It actually looks really dark. I might have to make the hair lighter.
What is it you need?
Hold on. Okay, anyways. sales. We did. Please.
Come again.
Like, was there anything else that I wanted? Besides Tatami and Ninja. I don't really need low table. Wait, I didn't even put up the... This. What's just this? 10 mil. Sorting Sakura. I think that's good enough.
Come again.
You know what? Actually, wait. Let's not.
You need.
This shit actually is worth like fucking... It's worth like 10 mil. To be honest.
Come again.
It's a really good camo. This hair though needs to be lighter. Oh, because it has the dark part in it. Hold on. If I just get rid of dark part completely. Maybe it was just adding too much. It's better. Still pretty dark though, in the dark. No, it's still like very...
Welcome.
Maybe it's unlike the other hairstyle. It's just darker overall. Because this is NGS hair and not regular hair. I wonder what... Hold on. What color is the... It's already that color. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, we're changing the hairstyle, the hair color. Oh. Yeah, 2.9 million, not even worth putting up for $30. I might as well just keep it for myself. Alright. Where's the enthusiastic spectator? Here it is. Why does it look purplish? Like bluish? What is up with the Injia's hair, bro? Hold up. I made it as white as you could make it. Man, you know what? we're just not. We're just not. Although, no, I think this is too bright now. Hold up. Does the color change for all of them? Let's see. Yeah, it does. You change the color for all of them. Man, I was super hyped for that hair too. I was really hoping that hair would be pretty sick. But you don't always get what you want, I guess. Guess we're just sticking with the base hair for a little bit longer. Jesus, someone actually bought it for 10 mil. Oh my god. Someone actually bought Last Ring Sakura for 10 mil. Whew.
What is it you need?
Yeah, it actually was worth 10 mil. Jesus fucking Christ. Probably should have sold it for more. Well, I guess there's no reason to not buy Ninja now. I have the stock for it. Wait, can I buy a relic? Hold on. Relic's probably still more, but doesn't hurt to check. So it goes to already 15, so already 15 is gonna be the highest. No in price. Let's do 10 mil. Ooh. Ooh, wait a minute. God damn it. Wait, relic prices are actually really fucking low right now. What the fuck? I can actually buy a relic if I wanted to. I can't multi-weapon it though. Huh. I didn't know relics were actually a lot less expensive than I thought they were gonna be. Alright, we'll check back on these in a few hours.
Come again.
And adjust price accordingly. I have 15 mil. Oh yeah, did I buy Ninja? No, I didn't buy Ninja.
What is it you need? Come again.
There's none in the market.
Come again.
Damn. Alright. Yeah, we have a lot to do now. We'll farm for a while. While we do that, though, might as well put some React content on too, huh? Not much of a reason not to, I guess. Ah, fuck, I forgot. I can't run the game in full screen while I do that. Fuck me, bro. Hold on. You're restarting the game. I'm putting it in borderless windowed mode. I also gotta change my screen to 1080p when I do that. The virtual full screen mode. Noise. Is it not picking it up just because it's a different thing? Hello? There we go. Took you long enough. Pop up, who knows?
You have no
I'm not playing. Oh fuck, I should probably turn down the volume on that, huh? Alright.
What is it you need?
Nothing else.
Come again.
Must mean the price of everything else is pretty high. Oh yeah, Ninja. Hold on. Fuck. Can't type. How long do you stay gone for?
What is it you need? Come again.
Oh yeah, let me... I hate how close they put the screen up. Yeah, Redem 15 is full, Jesus. People don't change blocks anymore. There's a new generation of new Genesis players. What are y'all doing? We're supposed to be a designated hangout block. What are you guys doing, bro? Choose a block already. Oh yeah. There we go. All right. I should probably change the category too. forgot how much farming was in this. So, Weeb plays Weeb game. Yeah, let's see. Hello? Hello?
Actual reason to say there's a genuine concern. Oh, you have no actual reason to say there's a genuine concern. No, you have no reason to say. You have no
Infrastructure
Alright, it's actually working.
is a communist buzzword, and Trump had the economy going until the communists.
Trump came in as a business deal making guy. That was his whole point, okay? Now, you might think that the Republicans have a different agenda than him or whatever, but he was a Republican president. The Republican lawmakers largely backed him, at least publicly. If he can't get a government to work for him when he owns every single corner of that government, what the kind of worthless businessman is he? How is he supposed to do anything?
Well, you well know that we know that we were respected around the world under Trump. Trump had the respect of the.
That's so untrue. Oh my fucking god. Everybody hated America once Trump became president. Are you kidding me? This guy's delusional. I can't.
people.
Hi, I'm Cam. I post on TikTok. I, of course, talk about political issues, just like I'm sure everybody else in here does. I'm a conservative.
Oh, wait, do I
and
know
I'm
this
looking
guy?
forward to the discussion.
Wonderful. Next is going to be, sadly, the League streamer, Stephen Bunnell.
Hey guys, what's up? You probably know me better online as Yorha Space Destiny. I'm an 80 carry main bot lane. I'll be going for Grand Masters this season. Okay, so make sure you watch my streams. I will definitely be getting to Grand Masters, and yeah, it's gonna be a great ride there.
It sure will. Now, we're going to throw it over to Hake.
Hey guys, I'm James Hake. I host the Hake Report Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 Pacific time. I'm an expert and I read Hake
snowing
News
outside.
over on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, which is a morning show. I'm on his network. And I produce Church with Jesse Lee Peterson at his nonprofit organization, Bond. And I'm happy to be on Hippy Dippy once again.
Happy to have you back, Hake. And hopefully I can come on your program next week.
Yes, that would be fun.
Throwing it now over to I Am Really Important.
Awesome, Dylan, thanks for having me. I go by I'm Really Important. I follow electoral politics. We keep a close eye on the House and the Senate. And I'm excited to be here. Should be a lot of fun.
Wonderful. And thank you for making the last minute replacement. Our surprise guest sadly couldn't make it due to personal troubles. And so IRI, of course, is the best surprise we could have wished for.
Wait, who was the surprise guest?
I can't tell you. It's a surprise.
Well, but they
It'll be a
couldn't make
surprise for
it,
another
so.
day. Well, now it'll be a surprise for another day.
I know
Oh,
who they
new
were, and they
mission
lied
pass
about the
too, I
personal issues.
forget.
I just didn't want to be in your shit ass fucking show.
Yeah, I'm sure, Destiny. But you came here because you're a shit-ass fucking streamer. Now I'm gonna throw over to Lecture Fan.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lecture Fan. I'm a conservative. I've been streaming politics on Twitch since 2015. I'm an attorney in the day. I stream at night every evening, except Thursday nights. Thursday night's family night. And then I do gaming on the weekends. So stoked for 2022. Can't wait for the Republicans to take back Congress and put an end to the Biden administration. Let's go. Thanks for having me, Dylan.
Happy to have you here, Lecture
To be
Fan.
honest,
Now I'm gonna throw it
probably
over to
not wrong.
Merrick.
Hey, I'm Merrick DeVille. I am a leftist, allegedly a YouTuber and a streamer. That's very rare nowadays. I cover like sex work, feminism, drug issues, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Happy to have you here, Merrick. Now we're gonna throw it over to a hippy dippy recruitment show alum of our developmental brand, the Paradigm Shift. How you going? How's it doing, man?
Scratch.
You are muted.
I am muted. I did the streamer thing. Yay, my first
man.
time, and I did the streamer thing.
Oh man, it's all the talkers. Oh boy.
I am a leftist. I just believe that values belong to the people, and I try to discuss that as much as I can on my show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, or whenever my depression does not kick in. And I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. Now we're gonna throw it over to T-Jump.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. I'm T-Jump. I do debates with professors and philosophers on reasons to believe in the God, pretty much. And occasionally talk to political topics. Thanks for having me on.
Happy to have you on, and I'm finally happy I'm getting your name correct. Okay, so let's go into some of the rules of the program. The first rule, of course, is that when I'm talking, no one else is talking. I am not.
I like how the mags are free. That's nice. At least the free-to-play players get a guaranteed new mag every mission pass. That's pretty nice of them. But back to this.
Not talking to make political points. I will merely be talking in order to moderate. And so I would ask you, if you cannot hear me right now, to turn up my volume up in Discord, and try to recognize my voice among everyone else, because I will mute you if you continue to talk while I am talking, while I attempt to moderate. The next rule is we will not be breaking any Twitch terms of service. Many of us are streaming on the Twitch platform, and they have some stricter terms of service, for instance, than YouTube does. And I would ask you to do your best to follow those terms of service. I would also ask you not to make attacks on people's inalienable characteristics. That includes things like gender and race. We're not going to be doing those types of attacks. You can go ham on their ideas, okay? You can insult people's intelligence. But I would also say that, I will say though, that honey gets more flies than vinegar. Now, I will also say that when it comes to the show, pronouns, we do respect them. If you don't want to do that on your own time, that's your business, but here we do.
Does that include neopronouns?
Yes, Destiny. Yes, Destiny, that does.
Hey, quick follow-up questions. Can we refuse to say pronouns if we just use the person's name instead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Are we respecting neo names?
Of course, Destiny. Okay.
I should just interrupt. Dylan, can I even wear this on Twitch? Is this okay?
It's fine. Just don't shake your head too much.
I promise you it's okay. I promise you.
Okay, all right.
Put it like a hot tub in the background and you're A-okay. You can wear anything on this site, all right?
Wonderful.
Oh, no.
Okay. God, I don't understand neopronouns.
Why
I need to
wince?
figure out what the fuck
Why
that
wince?
is. Anyway,
Why
so
wince?
let's move on.
Why wince?
Is there any rules
Well,
that I
he
forgot? I
doesn't
don't
know
believe so.
neopronouns.
Is there anything that needs to be discussed? Any
wince?
rule you don't understand? Or
I just
anything?
got here. Damn.
Yeah, what do we do if you say to stop talking?
Stop talking.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to go into the first topic. And it is a topic that, of course, it is the anniversary of 1 year ago and 1 day. January 6th occurred, which was an event that happened at the Capitol. I won't
might as well
put
just
any
spam this.
moral statement upon it, even though I think everybody knows what I think of the day as a personal witness to it. I want to ask you all, how do you think January 6th should be remembered? And what do you think its impact on history will be? We're going to start in the top left-hand corner with Ham Higby.
Yeah, sure. So, I don't condone the January 6th
oh my
attack.
God,
right?
they're so boring. Oh God, it's like 30 minutes every time. The opening
obviously
statement.
bad, right? People got hurt. They broke into the Capitol. It was wrong and bad, but I don't think that it ranks up there with Pearl Harbor and 9/11 like certain politicians might allude to. And I mean, I guess a lot of my argumentation will kind of revolve around some of the misinformation that's floating around about this event that might come up in this stream, or maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I obviously think it's bad. So let's move on to the next person.
Wonderful. Now we're going to throw it over to Destiny.
Yeah, definitely bad. I'd rank it somewhere between Nagasaki and Hiroshima in terms of badness. Maybe not quite up to Pearl Harbor, but it's definitely up there. You know, big bad event. Yeah, that's all I got. We'll see where we go on the panel of this. Obviously, it's bad. Some people are exaggerating it, but there's like weird lies being told on both sides about it. But I guess we'll see what we get into on the panel.
Okay. So I'm going to put you the hate report.
I think that we should remember the truth about it, and hopefully its impact on history will be that some of the blatant lies will diminish people's blind trust in the.
This might be the final stream.
the mainstream media, the phony politicians who are melodramatic about it, pretending to care about Officer Sicknick. And we take a good hard look at ourselves and the way that people want to just hate one another based on hype.
Okay, next we're gonna throw it over to IRI.
Yeah, I think Ted Cruz said it pretty well when he called it a terrorist attack. Republican senator from Texas. I would agree with him. It was a terrorist attack. I think that it was our fellow Americans misled by a guy who couldn't accept his defeat. I thought it was unpatriotic. It was also really amazing to see police officers fight in hand-to-hand combat for hours against a mob and protect our temple of democracy. I mean, in the words of Joe Biden, you can't love your country only when you win. So let's see what other people have to say.
Wonderful.
What a great American hero, Joe Biden.
All right, first, it wasn't a terrorist attack. We don't have a democracy. January 6th is being blown totally out of proportion for partisan reasons. When you're talking about January 6th, you got to differentiate. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the senators and representatives that validly and legally objected to counting electoral college votes because states had unconstitutional election procedures? Are you talking about people that were there that did not go into the Capitol, that did commit any crimes, that were not violent, that were legitimately peaceful protesters? Are you talking about the sort of the rogue elements of the group that actually did commit violence? Are you talking about people that literally walked into the Capitol, didn't even know what they were doing? It shouldn't even be a topic. I mean, it's so irrelevant to society. We shouldn't be talking about it. This is important as, you know, any local crime story. It's not that big of here's the reality. The reality is the Democrats are bringing this up and spending all this time on it and doing this huge electoral commission because they can't get anything done in Congress and they can't get anything passed. And so this is a huge distraction element. The real purpose is to try to paint all Trump supporters as terrorists. It's disgusting. And then to use domestic spy operations on Trump supporters. I mean, there's so many just bad parts about this. It shouldn't even be a discussion. It's turned into a total partisan hit job.
Because you obviously don't want to talk about it for obvious reasons.
The whole discussion about it. We should be talking about BLM and Antifa instead.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we're gonna throw it over to Merrick.
Yeah, because BLM and Antifa raided our fucking Capitol, bro. Yep. They definitely did that.
Crazy. Okay, so I think it's very obviously, very apparently an act of insurrectionary terrorism. It's kind of indisputable, actually. I do think that Kamala Harris saying that it's
Pokemon
like, oh my
got
God,
banned?
Pearl Harbor happened to 9/11 during World War II or whatever.
Did Mizkif get banned too?
Pretty fucking
It's only going to be a
goofy.
one-day thing if they did.
Trying not to curse. It's pretty goofy, but at the same time, I think
See, guys, just because I talked about doing it today, they were like, nope, time to crack down on this shit.
Abjectly and very embarrassingly failed at whatever it is that their goal was, doesn't mean that we have to act like it's a big nothing burger. We can actually take this seriously without completely over-exaggerating it. So, completely disagree with everything Lecture Fan just said.
Gotcha. Now I'm gonna throw it over to the paradigm shift.
January 6th bad. Benghazi. Like, I could throw out a bunch of buzzwords here, and I feel like when we talk about January 6th, like I always say, I can empathize with people who were there. I get, like, without saying, oh, they were just dumb or stupid, you know, whatever. They, in their heads, had valid reasons that they thought they were.
Did I accidentally ban my jungle? Please tell me I didn't do it.
Feels like they have a valid reason for whatever it is they do, and that's fine, that's sure, that's great, whatever. But like, not only was January 6th a mess, not only could it have been worse, but the response that we're getting right now, even having this conversation, is more like people are overblowing it to make it seem like the government's trying to throw it because they can't do much here and this and that. It's like there were a big crowd of people who were met with barely any resistance, and God forbid they got their hands on anybody. I know how many times people are going to say I'm playing the id poll card here, but when it comes to January 6th for me, I'm just saying if it was a group of people who identified as Black Lives Matter, it would have been a slaughter. Like, at this point in time, we can't even begin to like understand all the little nuances of why the defense on the Capitol wasn't like put up more and every week. There's so many unanswered questions that I just have to say, January 6th bad. How should it be remembered? As a moment where people were fueled to believe something through these crazy conspiracy theories. Yes, crazy conspiracy theories. and it's just like, why? What is your end goal? What is your point? What are you doing here? And no, January 6th bad. Simple as that. Bad, horrible, miserable.
Go of me, you bitch.
Yeah, so my position is that the January 6th riots are essentially the same as all the BLM riots. And burning down a police station and raiding a government organization to try to make political change without voting for it is pretty much the same. And the only difference is the location. One is a federal government building versus one is a state building. I don't see this as any more of a way to try to overthrow the government than making no-go zones for where police can't go, or trying to usurp the government in by
fuck, I should have given this whole guy's take in advance because I could have predicted it. This guy's like the ultimate like fence sitter for everything.
Say why this would be any worse or any worth more condemning than any of the other BLM protests that caused significant damage, like the ones here in Minneapolis. So I don't really know what the big deal is, and it's why there's such a huge double standard, and that Republicans condemn all the BLMs but not this one.
Like,
and then the
I mean, I get what he's saying. It's a riot, so it's also bad, but you really think a riot at a random city isn't less bad than a riot at the capital of your nation? It's all the same? Like, you really think those are exactly the same? I mean, you can think that if you want, but I just completely disagree that riots that are killing, like, or not even killing, but like a problem. Yeah, I guess, whatever.
Democrats condemn this one, but not all the BLM ones, or to a much different degree than one another. It seems pretty obvious these are about the same in magnitude, except like very few people died in both cases, lots of property damage in both cases, both trying to subvert political authority. I don't really see any significant difference here. Definitely not comparable to any of the tragedies where tens of thousands of people died, but the scale of magnitude, they're just riots. That's about it.
Way more damage in the BLM Antifa riots.
Okay. The floor is now open for general discussion. You have about.
I have a question. I have a question for leftists. How many people have been charged with insurrection, and how many people have been charged with terrorism?
Wait, is there a terrorist charge?
47.
Yeah. Yes. Terrorism is a federal criminal charge.
47 for insurrection, and I think like nobody for terrorism.
Well, it's an ongoing investigation. Like, sure, you know this.
Yeah, but they literally have people in jail and they haven't even been convicted of anything, and they're being held in 23-hour-a-day solitary confinement, which is like...
I mean, welcome to the American judicial system. Like, I'm sorry, but like, sometimes you're held, if you're like a violent criminal, for sometimes weeks without a charge, even though people literally saw you there. Like, I don't know. That's just how it works,
jarring
bro.
enough to even make Elizabeth Warren speak up.
And welcome to America's prison system. Glad you guys are finally give a shit.
Yeah, literally. Anyone here is going to advocate for putting people in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day. That's literally torture. I don't think you're going to get any of us sitting here going, wow, that's so awesome. Like, we don't want that. But at the same time, what we're saying...
you won't say anything about it.
Yeah,
not one
of you leftists said that.
We literally that's bad. What are you talking about?
I want to comment on something Paradigm said earlier. He said that if it was BLM, it would have, if it was anybody who identified as a member of BLM, it would have been a slaughter. So do you have like any citation for that or any evidence that would
citation?
at all? Because we went through months months.
BLM already had a protest like near the Capitol and burned that church down, and it wasn't a slaughter. So that's a really bad argument. Whew, I'm gonna get ripped into a lot of crazy left-leaning shit here.
Merrick, the question was directed to Paradigm Shift, so I want Paradigm Shift to be able to respond. Paradigm?
Okay, so you say, do I have any evidence or citations that would have happened? Well, obviously that event didn't happen. But if we look at the protest for BLM that happened in Brooklyn that I was at,
slaughters.
It could have been. It was very close to. The only reason why
they weren't.
I was there. Like, we were beat up. We were assaulted. We were literally, like, the police themselves had to stop them, the other police, from, like, attacking them. And I have that on video. You can hear police officers yelling, like, nah, that's too much. That's too much.
This is a general question. I'm not sure of the answer to this, but did anybody die at any BLM riot? Like, any BLM protesters die at
lots of people. Way more. Yeah, way more.
No. I'm talking about people killed by BLM. I'm talking about BLM protesters.
Yes.
Okay.
I can answer your question. So in my city in Austin, there was a pregnant woman who was hit in the stomach with a beanbag gun by an officer. Her baby died. There was also a young man who was on I-35 one of the days that I was there who was shot with some sort of non-lethal agent. He was shot in the head, and I watched him drag his body off of I-35, and then he died.
What?
So yes, cops have absolutely.
Well, I'm glad we agree. Babies are people now.
5 Trump supporters died that day.
Yeah, one of them was crushed by other Trump supporters.
No, that's not true. It was an OD. I'll say this. There was 5 Trump supporters that died, but so Ashley, or I think it was actually 4, and Ashley Babbitt was obviously shot and killed by the Capitol Police. There was 1 heart attack prior to the storming of the Capitol. There was a stroke prior to the storming of the Capitol, and there was an OD just as it happened.
Echo. Merrick,
So-
I'm getting echo from your end.
The only person that died that day was literally a Trump supporter that was shot and killed by the police. And there hasn't been any BLM riots that have been a slaughter, and there's been a hell of a lot more BLM riots than there has been riots driven by Trump supporters.
Right,
And
like
why do you
billions
think
and
that
billions
is?
of dollars.
And the BLM riots aren't based on anything real. The Trump supporters actually had.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna save you the effort because I know it's my first time here and I'm the newbie guy. I'm gonna save you the effort right now. Don't do that. Don't
The
don't
Trump
say that,
supporters
'cause
have
it's
a legitimate complaint. The Black Lives Matter do not.
Do you my first stream ever was complaining about a cop pulling a gun on me and firing a bullet 3 inches away from my head for literally fighting
this
what?
guy is not it. Okay, this guy is not it. Oh
Dave, we're gonna go
no.
deeper into that. I think that's gonna be a division between what you see in your
Conversation's
neighborhood and how you grew
already
up
gone to
versus
shit.
how I grew up. I promise you, BLM has a legitimate complaint. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can activate it. You can
Actually,
actually.
legitimate, but we should probably just stick
stop,
to the topic.
Stop. Okay, so I want to make sure we don't all talk at the same time. I almost forgot. I forgot to say at the start. That's what I forgot. If you raise your hand, I will write your name down. If you find it difficult to get into the conversation due to the panel format, it can get kind of hectic. And I'll make sure eventually we get over to you. I just want to make sure to say that. So I'll write your name down, T-Jump.
What?
All right.
sorry, no.
Say something? You haven't said anything.
Yeah, I'd say, what does the BLM riots or protests have anything to do? We're talking about January 6th here, guys. Let's stay focused here, okay? Let's talk about the January 6th event.
the double
We can talk
standard.
about all the riots over the
Revealing.
course of America's history if you want. I mean, what's the point? Let's talk about January 6th.
That got brought
Hypocrisy.
up because Paradigm brought it up. That's why I questioned him, because he said, and I quote, if there was anybody there identifying with BLM, it would have been, quote, a slaughter. That's why it got brought up. Not because of any of us, Lecture Fan, or any conservative brought it up, but because Paradigm brought it up, and I questioned him.
It's a legitimate thing because there's a double standard. The Black Lives Matter protesters are endlessly given room to destroy, whereas the Trump supporters do one thing. Out of so many protests, one turned violent, and we don't even know really who's all behind it. So it's a clear double standard.
Yeah, the point is the
outrage is
Antifa ones that were way worse. We're actually way worse in terms of number of deaths, in terms of number of people killed, in terms of property damage, in terms of all these things. So you have literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these extreme, severe, hardcore riots where people are killed and buildings are burned down. Literally, federal courthouse is under siege for an entire summer. Federal courthouse is under siege for not a word from the leftists. And then there's one, and then you have hundreds and hundreds of Trump rallies and hundreds of Trump protests, and not a single one ever. There's not a single crime committed, not a single thing wrong. I mean, look, they clean up after themselves in the park, and then we're gonna have this. Oh my gosh, January 6th is like 9/11. It's obviously a partisan BS. So that's what we're calling out. We're calling out the hypocrisy.
Two things happening right now.
I'm saying, the first thing is I'm talking. So we're gonna go IRI, T-Jump, then Merrick. We're gonna go in that order and write your name down, Cam.
How does any of that, Lecture Fan, compare to interfering with the peaceful transition of power in America? We're supposed to lead by example here. What are you talking about? The federal court was stopped from doing nothing in the middle of the night because some people threw a stupid little bottle full of nothing at it? Who cares? Fireworks at it and shot at some people guarding the courthouse at night? Who cares? You're talking about the peaceful transfer of power in America. Are you kidding me? You're comparing the two?
There was no interference with the peaceful transfer of power. Do you realize that those people
didn't have to evacuate the building with the nuclear football, right? That didn't happen.
Not for a lack of trying.
What Trump wanted and what a lot of the January 6th protesters wanted was for senators and House of Representatives members to object to the Electoral College certification and establish a committee, to look into the fact
when the protesters broke in.
There was no.
They were in the middle of that.
Interfere.
Senator Lankford was interrupted while they were doing that, so
The
they
news was
interrupted the
fake.
debate.
Oh my god.
Destiny, you wanted to say something quick?
Yeah, shit. I'm not gonna try and too much on opinions, but just to make things relatively fact-based, right? They were already in the middle of that objection process. That's not what people wanted. People wanted a singular actor to overturn the democratic process. No. The call was for Trump. The call was from Trump on Twitter, specifically referencing some obscure idea that Pence could single-handedly overturn the democratic process. That's what people were looking for, not what was already happening, not the process that not only was already happening, but nobody had any reason to believe would stop, which was them going through their objections, which they did. They had the right to do so, and they did it. So that is just absolutely not true. Just making sure that's on the record.
Okay, I gotta throw this over to T-Jump quick. Lecture fan, did you want to respond to that? Want me to write your name down?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, like T-Jump.
Yeah, so I'm still not hearing like any comparison.
Your
Like,
reverb is like up, like through the roof right now.
Reverb?
Okay, sounds better.
All right. So I'm still not seeing the difference here between the January 6th riot and any other BLM riots. It seems like, again, they're all still trying to overthrow the government. Like the BLM riots destroyed a police station. They tried to take over parts of areas of streets and blocks to block out police so they couldn't enforce it. They were literally trying to take locations from America, which is subverting and overthrowing the government. So I don't see the difference here between the two. Like, obviously both are bad. We shouldn't try to overthrow the government. But how is this, the January 6th riot, significantly different from what the BLM did, other than its location?
I don't see how the January 6thers wanted to overthrow the government. They wanted to preserve it from being overthrown.
We'll both could make that argument. That's just perspective.
You're next.
But there is no evidence they wanted to overthrow the government.
So there's a couple things happening here.
That's projection.
Okay, so there's a couple things that are happening here. The first is that you guys are acting like an entire group of people being very upset that their communities are currently and historically over-policed and brutalized by our police and military forces.
These are all going to be really bad
arguments. It's not your time to talk. Thank you. So there's a big difference between entire communities who have been historically disenfranchised and abused by this country being upset and lashing out, and those, was it 7% of BLM protests being violent, and people thinking that their president is directing them to prevent the transfer of power. When there's all kinds of footage of these people walking in, going, stop the steal. Did I just unplug my mic? No. Yeah.
Keep going. Yes.
Okay. There's so much footage of people walking in, saying "Stop the steal," looking at the cops, calling them oath breakers. They're walking out of the building when everything is said and done, with their arms raised, going, "We did it. We stopped the election from being certified." They're chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." There's footage of all of this. You can deny it and say that it didn't happen, but it's on camera. It's literally recorded. These people planned this ahead of time. This wasn't like we're frustrated with the fact that we are oppressed. It was that we have been brainwashed by our idiot president into thinking that this election is fake when it's clearly not. There's literally no reason for you to need to compare this to BLM. The only reason you're doing it is to deflect from the actual events of January 6th, which is what we came here to talk about, not BLM.
All right, can I get my response into what Destiny said earlier?
Sure.
Okay. It's not melodramatic. You're mad because I told you not to talk over me, and you probably don't like women speaking to you this way. It's not melodramatic. It's that I'm using a firm tone of voice with you, and you're not going to speak to me that way. Do you understand?
Okay, lady. All right, lady.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. All right. So, and then it's going to be Cam after.
Yeah. So Destiny and IRI are completely wrong. What Trump wanted with what Mike Pence did was actually a relative, admittedly obscure constitutional legal theory that, without commenting on the merits of it, called for the vice president to reject one of the state's electors on the basis that...
Yeah, of course you don't want to talk about how legitimate It is, bro, because it's fucking bullshit, and we all know it. Holy shit.
There was questions about the legality of it and the constitutionality of those electors, which then would have caused there to be no, you wouldn't count those electors, and then if there was enough of them to make it so that nobody got to 270, then that would send the election into the House, and then the House or Congress under the Constitution. So the idea that this was, trying to, overthrow the Constitution or violently interfere with, no. Like, you can disagree with that constitutional legal theory all you want, but there was nothing sort of violent or illegal about it. That was the theory. Mike Pence could reject it. They wouldn't reach 270, and then it goes into the House. That's what the Constitution says. That's what the legal theory was. There wasn't any violent or overthrowing or insurrection or anything about it.
So the word I use is undemocratic. We have a process by which we elect a president. The idea of trying to appeal to the vice president, I don't even know if you're making a real argument if this is like a character. The idea of appealing to the vice president to overthrow the results of the election is obviously undemocratic. You
How
must
is it
know
undemocratic to allow to follow the Constitution?
Because regardless of what obscure provision is in the Constitution that might allow for this, which I don't think legal scholars were even unified in believing that was something that they agreed could be done, right? Despite that, obviously there would have been a sort of constitutional crisis, right? Like, I think technically the executive can get away with not enforcing any laws that come from the legislative, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea that it's not democratic, right? You know this if you've been to law school. Hold on, wait, hold on. The Constitution's not democratic, okay? But when you do legal shit, when you do law, right, okay, there is a lot that's built on case law. There's a lot that's built on kind of the gentleman agreements that we have in terms of how we operate society. Just because something's on the books doesn't necessarily mean that it would even survive being tested in court, and it sure as fuck doesn't make it democratic. You know this as well as I'm sure you know this, yes?
Right. Okay, let me get a response into that because doesn't matter if it's undemocratic. Guess what? Democracy sucks. Our founding fathers and our Constitution are specifically designed to be undemocratic. That's why we have a Senate. That's why we have a constitutional republic. We have a constitution. We don't have a democracy. So this idea that following the Constitution is undemocratic, yeah, it is, because democracy sucks.
Okay,
democracy is purposely what we're not supposed to have.
Okay, then I agree. I agree. If you want to say that Trump was acting in a totalitarian, if you want to say he was acting in a totalitarian manner and he was being undemocratic, fine, I'll agree. That's fine. Okay, I can agree with that.
No, Trump was fighting for the people, though.
Lecture fan.
No, it's called constitutional republicanism. It's called constitutional republicanism. You guys don't obviously know anything about the Constitution or about American founding because pure democracy is not what we're supposed to.
Okay, Cam, it is your turn.
That was undemocratic.
All right, so the reason that people keep wanting to compare the January 6th riot to the BLM riots is because the BLM riots were objectively worse, okay? They killed, dozens of people, 25 people, if I remember correctly, $2 billion in property damage. People lost their jobs, they lost their businesses, they weren't able to put food on the plates for their family, their businesses went permanently bankrupt. They were objectively worse. And you keep saying this like, 7% of BLM riots were peaceful. Okay, 7% of flights flown on 9/11 were completely indestructive. That's a ridiculous stat, and it doesn't make any sense when you look at the raw damage inflicted by these riots. It is ridiculous. And the reason that people are infuriated by this is because there is no BLM Summer of 2020 Riot Select Committee, but there is a January 6th Select Committee. There is an in-depth FBI investigations that you're hearing about every day into these riots. Sure, there were lots of arrests, and there were some FBI investigations. We saw this with the Rittenhouse thing. There was an FBI plane, whatever. There was stuff going on, but they're not looking into it as deeply as they are this. And the other thing, we keep acting like this is some kind of coordinated, organized insurrection to overthrow the U.S. government. It's not true. It's bullshit. It's bogus. Okay? The FBI's investigation literally found that there...
I want to fight back against all these talking points, but like the people that are left of me on this podcast are so far to the left, like they are uttering shit I don't agree with either.
Whoa, please let me go.
And I'll write down American.
Dude, you know the investigation is still going, right? You're aware that this is the largest investigation by the FBI ever. You're claiming that it's all resolved. Are you nuts? I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, young genius.
What the hell?
We're gonna let IRI finish, and I'm also gonna write down.
That's true. IRI's not bad.
Listen, I'm gonna teach you something today, okay? I don't know what they're teaching you over there on TikTok, but I'm gonna give you a little education lesson here, okay? First of all, I can't even imagine what they would have done if they had a couple of months to do damage like the BLM event took place. You're talking about what happened in a couple of hours compared to what happened over a couple of months. Do you see the disconnect there? Now let me move over to Lecture Fan over here to my side. Lecture Fan, I think you're talking about the Electoral Count Act, which just has the VP as simply a guy opening envelopes and announcing what happened. Even your own Republican senators disagree with you because they're now revisiting that, saying maybe we can make some changes to clarify what's going on there. Even Mike Pence disagrees with you. So what is this legal theory you're talking about that nobody seems to agree with you except that creepy dude, Alan Dershowitz, whatever?
So you're admitting that it's ambiguous enough that they're considering clarifying it. And I don't know if you know this, but
a lot of things need clarification.
You can have ambiguous laws that are subject to more than one interpretation. That's literally the definition of ambiguity under law, is that it's subject to more than one interpretation.
I'd really like to respond.
And I don't disagree with you that like a lot of people disagree with it. And that's why I said, like, I'm not even commenting on the merits about it. I'm literally not even commenting or saying I agree with that legal theory or not. In fact, I probably don't. So I'm not but the point is that it's not some overthrow, violent, anti-constitutional thing. Sure, it's undemocratic, but the U.S. Senate's undemocratic. The Electoral College is undemocratic. That's on purpose.
Okay,
can I respond?
Yeah, we're gonna, Cam.
Okay, so you just said that it's the largest scale investigation currently going on, and that it's still going on, so that my point was invalid. But you'd think that if this was the largest scale FBI investigation going on in the country, with all of the resources they have, that they'd be able to pull something together within a year. From the time that it happened, but apparently they haven't been able to do that. And I love how you're trying to taint the well by, I don't know what they teach you on TikTok. That's hilarious, bro. You also said that you couldn't imagine what they could have done over months. Well, they could have done more over months. Like, what was stopping them, other than them saying that they weren't going to, or that Trump supporters, like, what? I don't know what you mean. Do you think that it was the same group of BLM people at every single riot that resulted in 7-story buildings going up in flames? Ridiculous.
Oh, okay. We're gonna throw it over to Paradigm Shift, Merrick, Hake, and then T-Jump in that order. Well, did you have something to say on that specifically, Hake?
I wanted to talk about the basis for the
How many
protest.
jumps does this guy have?
Okay.
And the notion of democratic.
Could you wait a little bit after?
Yes.
Okay, Paradigm.
Okay, so I've heard a lot. I'm gonna try to respond to everything. I'm gonna say this to start it, and hopefully this rings out true to you, because I know at this point, from what I'm hearing, I'm not changing nobody's minds. I'm not shifting nobody's paradigms. Woo, there's a lot. Okay, I understand January 6th from a Trump supporter's mind. I've talked to many Trump supporters, many close to my friends that used to be my friends who went there that day. The goal that I have gathered from everyone I've talked to seems to be all over the place. When we talk about, and since it keeps getting brought up, I'm just gonna be the arbiter for that group. When we talk about BLM, and we talk about the months and months of damage and the politicians who egged it on, this and that and whatever, we end up in a scope where we have to ask ourselves, what is the main goal? And Merrick already said this, I'm sorry for repeating you, but when you talk about systemic injustice and there being no answer to it other than like, hey, if you're not going to be kind to us and police us in a way that makes us feel safe in our communities.
Kira, thank you so much for the raid. It's been a little bit. Currently playing PSO2 while I react to some politics stuff. And there's a raid, well, in-game raid coming up in 15 minutes, so I'll be pausing the politics debate shit while I do that. But seriously though, thanks for the raid. Let me finish.
We're gonna violently lash out against you since that seems to be the only language you understand. You end up at a point like the summer of 2020. When you go to January 6th, which is the point of what we're supposed to be talking about here, and we talk about the main goal of these people who showed up there to do what, per se,
thanks for the follow.
You end up with a bunch of fallacies that don't allow them to have jurisdiction to be there. And when we talk about...
For those that just came here too, apparently we're talking about the January 6th debate, and we have people all over the place. We have some people who are like far left, some far right, some center. Some some are like full on like QAnon conspiracy theory, thinking that the voting was like all faked. Then we have like some like full on communist in here. I don't know. It's just the conversation so far is kind of a shit show. I'm half thinking about going to my next fucking thing I was gonna react to anyways. Holy shit. Oh my god, I have so many items. But yeah, that's what's going on.
Well, what about the response? What about this? What about that? They got away with it. The fact that it's an ongoing investigation that they can't seem to find answers on says a lot about Operation Legend and how they were able to rat down 1,500 people and put them in jail. Oh, but the politicians were releasing bail funds for them and everything. 1,500 people went to jail over this. Barely over 60 went to jail over the insurrection. Does that mean that the insurrection is less worse? Like, it's confusing to me that we're trying to either think about it as not that big a deal when the end goal of January 6th was, no matter who, I don't know how you could have watched that day and not seen this, but the end goal for them was stop the steal. Like, whatever disenfranchised votes they felt like, whatever they thought the election process was corrupt, whatever, they simply wanted the election to stop. And I don't know where in the world, like, unless you're just terminally online and you don't think it had any real world ramifications. Like, do you not see these people egging on consistently? We want Donald Trump to remain the president. Like, at that point, how are we comparing things? The reason why January 6th sucks so bad is because, God forbid, they got their hands on somebody. God forbid it was a senator who got hurt. God forbid it was somebody who was bigger in this league and got hurt. The fact that it didn't happen doesn't mean that
January 6th was like, I would argue it like January 6th, what happened then was if not a full-on terrorist attack, the closest you could get to a terrorist attack without it actually being one. It was that bad to me. I don't know. I just don't see how you could see it any other way without desperately wanting your side to not look really bad for actually partaking in that riot.
we just brush it off. It means, whoa, why did that happen? Why are we not analyzing that? Which is the investigation, which is the point everyone's been making.
Okay. Merrick, then Hake, and then T-Jump.
Yeah,
then I wrote down Cam's name. Merrick, you are muted.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I muted myself. So I think it's a little reductive and a little silly to say that just because this wasn't organized by one person and everyone wasn't completely coordinated to brush off the idea of organization altogether, when we know that the Proud Boys were organized beforehand, we know the Oath Keepers were there organized beforehand, we know the 3%ers were. Bellingcat wrote an article the day before it went down. Let's see, the Washington Post wrote an article warning about all the people that were planning and organizing. NBC wrote an article and published it about people who were planning and organizing, showing receipts, showing the things people were talking about. That's three major outlets that were telling people, this is what's going to happen, this is what these people are saying. So to be like, well, you know, there wasn't one central hub of organization so then you can belittle the idea of organization, I think is like kind of slimy rhetoric, and it's not really very honest at all when we know that people were talking about this. Let me read you something. This one is actually really good. You can go to Washington on January 6th and help storm the Capitol. As many patriots as can be. We will storm the government buildings, kill cops, kill security guards, kill federal...
Wait, what? I didn't see that. What the fuck? Hold on, let's back up some.
And demand a recount. And it's not little things people were talking about. That's three major outlets that were telling people, this is what's going to happen, this is what these people are saying. So to be like, well, you know, there wasn't one central hub of organization so then you can belittle the idea of organization, I think is like kind of slimy rhetoric, and it's not really very honest at all when we know that people were talking about this. Let me read you something. This one is actually really good. You can go to Washington on January 6th and help storm the Capitol. As many patriots as can be. We will storm the government buildings, kill cops, kill security guards, kill federal employees and agents, and demand a recount. Here's another one.
Who said that?
Says,
and where did it come from?
These are anonymous posters. This one came from 8kun.
From where, though, I'm asking? Like, where?
It's a website called 8kun.
8kun. Okay. So that explains a lot. 8kun and 8chan. I think 8chan got deleted. I'm not completely sure, but so basically, there's a site called 4chan, which is a message board known for having basically the whole spectrum of people, including the very extreme parts of the internet. This is the birthplace of QAnon, for to put into perspective how crazy 4chan is in general. And 8chan was made for the people on 4chan who were so fucking crazy that they were getting like made fun of or getting banned from 4chan. So the crazy people of the internet had even crazier people who had to make their own site, which was 4chan or 8chan and apparently 8kun, which I'm pretty sure is like just as bad, if not worse than what 8chan was. So I'm not surprised that this kind of rhetoric was on 8kun.
Okay, so this is one that a lot of Trump supporters and a lot of people use, a lot of very far right members use. Marjorie Taylor Greene actually used it.
Did these have timestamps?
This doesn't matter. These are from
impersonators.
It doesn't matter if
timestamps or not. It absolutely does.
Wait. Can I ask a clarification? Do you mean Aincoon?
Is it supposed to be coon and not kun?
I forget the exact pronunciation of it, but okay.
I don't know. I don't hang out with people that go on this website. Yes, people have heard of it. Marjorie Taylor Greene used it. QAnon people use it. The far right uses it. Nazis use it. Pedophiles use it. Y'all's whole crowd is adjacent to people.
All that is actually pretty true, to be honest. 4chan and 8chan and 8kun are very known for, like I said before, having the craziest part of the internet. Pedophiles, racist, full-on tankies, Nazis, unironic Nazis, not like fucking, you said the N-word, so you're a Nazi. I'm talking actually like we need to round up the Jews and kill them Nazis. Those kind of Nazis. Yeah, these sites are crazy.
People who use it regularly. So yes, a lot of people have
never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Some obscure.
Okay, well then maybe you're not as good. Maybe you shouldn't have the amount of followers that you have on TikTok if you've never heard of this website, because this is connected to all kinds of QAnon and Patriot Prayer.
You're citing some obscure site, and you're not even like, they don't even have timestamps. Somebody could have gone in and put these up afterwards.
If you could not start with conspiracy theories before I'm even done making my point, that would be super great.
I think you're more on the borderline of conspiracy theorists than I.
These are major outlets that are writing about these things.
The FBI investigation found no coordination.
Washington Post and Bellingcat and NBC all got together and were in on some conspiracy theory. That's great, but that makes you look insane. So
no,
if you could finish
there's a big.
Okay, I'm gonna try to take the lead on the next topic, or we'll try to refocus this one, because holy fuck.
Great if you could stop talking while it's my turn to talk, because you'll have your turn later.
You're fighting so hard. Jesus Christ.
There's all kinds of things like this.
You're directly addressing me.
I'm not directly addressing you. I addressed a point you made, but it's been echoed throughout other people. It's my turn to talk. It's not yours. This is really easy to understand. Okay?
Jesus Christ.
There's all kinds of comments like this. So for you to sit there and say that there's no organization is extraordinarily dishonest. That was my point. And now if you want to say that it's all fake and none of it was real and all of the news outlets coordinated against you, now you can make your whatever conspiracy point you want to say to dismiss it so that you don't have to deal with it.
I think you're really the one that's more on the borderline of conspiracy theory here. You're citing some obscure website and the comments don't even have timestamps. You can't just say all of these things and then gaslight everybody else into thinking that they're...
This talking point is so fucking bad. So we're just gonna act like fucking QAnon wasn't made from 4chan, 8chan, 8kun. Like, we're just gonna act like that that just didn't happen, really? Holy fuck. I can't.
Crazy because you're not providing evidence. You're
These are coming from major news outlets.
It's my time. It's my. You're interrupting me now. You directly addressed me while you were talking. You said maybe.
Oh man.
Whereas on TikTok, if you've never heard.
That fucking Yasuo went 1-9 in my fucking game, and now I have to deal with this. Is this real life right now?
And I responded to you. Sorry if that hurt your feelings. But like, also you're citing like these Washington Post articles that are saying like the Proud Boys were going there. There's a big difference between people going there and people storming the Capitol, because there were 90% of the people that were there were completely peaceful. It was a very small faction of far-right people that actually broke into the Capitol, and opportunist people that didn't know what they're doing, just walked in and walked around, right? So like
okay, I'm watching Destiny's video, and apparently he's watching another video while he's listening to this debate. This is fucking dumb. Please stop. Oh, wait. Is this in 1.5 times? I think it is. No, it's 1 time speed. Wait, what? No fucking way.
The FBI, if you think you're better than the FBI, because the FBI's investigation found that there was no coordination. Not that there wasn't coordination by one person or one group of people, that there was no coordination. That's what the FBI's investigation found. So if you think you have more intelligence than, and I don't mean intelligence like your IQ, I mean intelligence like information. If you think you have more information in front of you than the FBI, I'd love to see it.
These don't contradict each other, though.
Give me a second. Okay, so Merrick, we're gonna have Merrick respond, and then we're gonna have to go back to the list because we have a bunch of people who've been waiting. Hake, T-Jump, Cam, then Shift.
I don't understand what point you think you're making, because what you just said doesn't contradict what I said at all. I said because there wasn't a central hub where everyone got together doesn't mean there wasn't organization. And the way you originally phrased your point was dismissive of the idea that there were people organizing.
The FBI found no evidence of coordination to break into the like a coordinated plan by anyone to break into the Capitol. And you're claiming that there was people online on some obscure website that has no timestamps of people saying that they were going to break in the building and claiming to break in the building, but there's no evidence there.
I don't know if I'm on the list.
Do you want me to send you the sources? Do you want me to send you the links and the sources that'll show you all of this?
So you can all you can all link the sources in the group DM. We're gonna go to the next person, which is Hake. Destiny, what are you resting your hand? Are you raising your hand?
Why the fuck would I rest my hand on top of my fucking head when I can rest my hand on my desk in front of me? Obviously, my fucking hand.
I never said you were intelligent. Okay, where's your name now? Okay, Hake.
Black Lives Matter was pandered to by the establishment, and the January 6th, the Trump types, they're getting less and less representation in the government. The establishment has failed.
What the fuck is Acon? 8kun? No, it's 8kun, the website. Basically, like I said before, wait, my stream's dropping frames. Can you still hear me? Hello? I think you can still hear me. Yeah, okay. My stream's fine. Yeah, 8kun is, I'm guessing, a different variation of 8chan. Let's see. Oh, fuck. Yeah, 8kun is just 8chan, basically, which is the more extreme version of 4chan, which is already extreme. We'll put this up for 20 million. See if it sells. If not, I'll bring it down some. Alright, what are we fighting? Renisfera, let's go. Easy clap. $25 mil. It's probably not gonna sell for 25. It's probably not gonna sell for 20 million. I already sold one for 10 mil, and they keep selling for 10 mil on the market really fast. So I'm thinking 20 mil might sell, maybe. Not with that attitude. Alright, I'll get back to playing the politics shit once the raid is finished. For now, we kill the giant worm snake, whatever the fuck this thing is. There it is. No, put it in the wrong chat. Fuck. Oh, whoops. Whoops. I'm using the wrong item. I would use my sword here, but the head is really annoying to fight when it keeps moving it so much. So we're just gonna do this. And just hope he gets down soon. We don't have a ranger, which sucks. Aqua had you playing Tekken? And how was it? The game is silly. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. I like it. I just think it's just worse than Soul Calibur in general. Like if Soul Calibur wasn't a thing, I'd probably play Tekken right now as like my fighting game. How do supers have armor? Because the devs thought they, I don't know, because the devs are kind of crazy. Some are safe too. This might be a longer run. Wait, he's weak to wind, isn't he? Yeah, he's weak to wind. Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, there's a event going on where monsters are weaker to wind for the next month, I believe, and I forgot about that. So I was using Dark, which is what he's usually weak to. God damn it. That's why my damage was lower than usual. There we go, that's the damage numbers I'm used to. Wait, hold up. Can I just... Let's see something. There we go. First elemental down. I should be able to get 5 of these on. This boy so tank. I mean, he is a raid boss. So, we shouldn't die super fast. There we go. You know nothing of this game? Well, congratulations. You just found one of the best games out in 2022. If you like action RPGs, and if you like anime, and if you like MMOs, this is the game for you. And I happen to like all 3 of them, to be honest. You can have giant tibbies. I have a whole video, actually, on my YouTube channel. Shameless plug of talking about the ginormous tits you can have in this game. Come on. Easy parry. Come on, hit me, hit me. You missed. What the fuck? Ow. That hit me. I was juked. He missed the tail so that way he could hit me with a missile. He's a smart boy. Oh no. There we go. Easy parry. Come on, hit me, hit me! There we go. Easy parries. And he's downed. So we're going from a down into a break. Got a large DPS phase coming up. Why would you use your photon blast now? You do double damage when he's broken. Oh god. Alright, break time. That was my photon blast, by the way. And yes, I called it Radiance Rend because it's a cool name. All right, don't judge me. Get this bitch what? Oh, phase 2, half health. We could really use a ranger so we could do extra damage to the weak spots. The missiles are so hard to parry because you can't see them coming. I feel like they're delayed differently every time. That's why I just avoid them, usually, by moving around the weak spot. They didn't even hit me, what the fuck? I was trying to force out my parry so I could do extra damage there. But they just whiffed. Juding? What is juding? Oh, you broke it. Nice. Who's judging? Oh. I'm dumb. Thesis, Fixify. Hit me. Oh no! I didn't time my parry right, and I took damage. Sag. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on. No! I was too early again! It's really delayed. And there's no like flash or anything like right before it shoots. You just gotta memorize like exactly how long it takes. Oh, hello. How you doing? Oh no, wrong one. No, 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 please. Alright. There we go. Parried the explosion. Let's go. Parried the tail. Noise, noise, noise. Ow. Where's the... There it is. I still got it, technically. It was an imperfect parry, so I still took damage out. You know what? I might just charge my Hunter Photon art on that. Photon Blast, please. There we go, perfect. Alright, let's do this. Photon Blast! Not a horrible run, but not the best either. A great run is like 8 minutes. This will be like, probably like, way too far away. Or not. Or not. There we go. Buried that one. Fashion in this game unmatched. True. Extremely true, actually. The emotes in this game are unmatched too, actually. I just got a few more too, actually. I'm gonna show them to you after this. Oh, we got an elemental down. Nice. Thought we'd do like one more. Or not. They got one more fully charged, and then a fully charged Fatal Tornado? Yeah, that's what it's called. The stickers are so buff. Yeah, I don't really like stickers that much. That's why I chose no sticker in my outfit. I might find a cool one later though that I put on. For now though, there's no sticker. So much damage, let's go. Ugh. Please? Oh my god. There we go. We killed it. I wonder how many seasonal points give you. 7,000. For the weekly. What about the actual kill though? 13-minute. Yeah, about an average run. You get 1,000 seasonal points. But that's actually less than I hoped. God damn it. I need 300,000 to get. What was it? Hold on. Limited time quest. What's this game called? Yeah, Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. It's a really long name. Extremely long name, actually. But yeah, it's free. 100% free. And you can actually get... you know what, yeah. You can actually get all of the in-game gear without paying anything. It's going to be slightly harder. But then again, even people who grind, who are pay to play, don't have like relics right now, including me. So yeah. It's actually pretty fair between free to play and pay to play players, minus like inventory, expansion stuff. Because free-to-play players only get 100 slots for stuff, and I use 81 just walking around. Although technically I don't really need to carry all of this shit. I just don't feel like having to go back to it. You know what? Hold on. I might actually just All the Alio stuff actually can just go away. Oh, whoops. Let's random stuff. Oh, how you doing? Oh yeah, I got new emotes. By the way. Oh, this is on PS. No, not PS4. Xbox and PC. If for some reason you're in Japan, you can also play it on PS4 in Japan. And technically, also in Japan, you can play it on Switch, but cloud only, like cloud gaming only, because this game can definitely not run on a Switch. It's not the easiest game to run. I'd say it's probably in between, like, what Warframe was, not Warframe, Call of Duty Warzone before it got the DLSS update, and like Cyberpunk 2077. So if your PC can run Cyberpunk, it can run this game. I'd say. If it can't run Cyberpunk that well, your PC maybe can run this. It'll just need to be in like low settings, maybe running like 720p. Oh yeah, let me check. How much Meseta do I have? 10 million.
What is it you need?
The only thing that free-to-play players will probably struggle with is like keeping up on Meseta stuff. Cause okay, this is like the paid for stuff, the cosmetics, and they sell for a lot of, well, not this, but like the popular AC Scratch stuff sells for a lot of Meseta, like this right here. Well, that's mine. Here we go. So you will fall behind on that, but if you're not like a huge cosmetics kind of person, you can still get by pretty well without having as much Meseta as pay-to-play players, because you can farm for money and it's not that bad, that hard. So yeah. Let's see, complete daily tasks, weapon armor enhancement, suppress Nord Rappies. Oh yeah, do I have any more mission pass? Yes, I do.
What is it you need? Come again. How are you doing?
Yeah, I don't see other lacerating Sakuras on the market, so hold on. What is this? Yeah, I wouldn't even use this thing even. Okay, this sword is actually pretty neat though. Wait a minute. Too bad the silver prim is the best. No way I'm buying that shit. How much is this? 9 mil? Never. The Barad, Double Saber / Rod, and others. Do I even use Double Saber? I don't think I do. Oh shit, politics shit. Whoops.
To convince many people, most Republicans to this day, I think, most Republican voters to this day, that this election was free and fair. And I think it's honestly been that way since 2000 between Republicans and Democrats, each thinking that it was unfair, stolen, whatever. And it seems like it's only gotten worse over time as we've gotten more divided. The motivation for the riots, or the protests, which turned into a riot in part, was what many felt were election shenanigans. We had the virus hype that caused liberals to shut down businesses and open up the voting, the mail-in voting, so any idiot could vote. no matter whether they care about the country or not. Trump was saying that it could lead to voter fraud. Everybody says, no, that didn't happen.
Not more people voting.
A lot of people are...
no.
I want to riot before I die. Where to join a riot? Wait for some crazy shit to happen. Follow the news, and then follow far left or far right Facebook groups. That's usually where they meet up. And there you go.
I'm convinced that that didn't happen. So they pushed for dumb liberals to vote like I've never seen. The mainstream media and the social media establishment pushed and fought very hard against Trump from the time that he was running for office throughout the whole time. And they were campaigning against Trump. They've been campaigning for Black Lives Matter, or the media.
That's Destiny playing music, by the way. That's not the game. He's just doing it as a
Me
joke.
Too movement against men. The subversives hoped that the endless reminders and making it all too convenient to quote unquote vote would help them topple Trump. And Trump insists to this day, I think, that he won by a lot. Whether the enemies of America were able to get all the useful idiots to vote against Trump, or whether they used other means and got away with it, we don't know.
Totally
but that's the reason for the protests. It was a democratic motivation that those people were protesting. They weren't trying to overthrow democracy. They were trying to save
How does it take so long to get to a point?
in their minds. And a lot of fair-minded people think that way, even to this day. But the people had suspicions about it. And Jace
Stonewall. I remember the name. What happened at Stonewall again? I forgot. Why do I remember that name? Oh shit. I still gotta get rid of that. Please? What? Am I missing something really important? What happened at Stonewall again? I forgot. Am I crazy? Stonewall riots, 1969 to oh my fucking. I'm being made fun of, aren't I? Early when New York City police raided the Stonewall and oh okay. A gay club located in Greenwich Village in New York City. Huh. I see.
January 6th was a setup. We know that DC is notoriously corrupt. They let Antifa and Black Lives Matter run wild and burn down the church, I think, across the street from the White House. They let Antifa and Black Lives Matter and others, feminists, invade the official spaces and assault cops. And the Democrats are saying, "Oh, don't be so mean to the protesters, cops." In Charlottesville, we had a setup during Trump's thing, where the lawful, mostly peaceful, white Unite the Right protesters protested against the tearing down of Confederate American heroes, and they let the cops did not separate. And
oh my God, what is he talking about? Oh God, it never ends.
Mostly attacking the whites over there.
Too quiet.
It was a setup so that they could declare an unlawful assembly. I suspect that that's what happened here, where they did not have enough security. I think Trump wanted 10,000, at least in an offhand comment, wanted 10,000 National Guard troops to protect, to keep law and order. He's a law and order president. He doesn't want this. And so I think that it was a setup to exploit and encourage people who are angry and a little off. There's some in every big crowd to go wild and make the conservatives look bad. And now it's a clampdown on everybody's freedoms.
Okay. Next is going to be T-Jump. Then I'm going to go to Destiny before Shift, because Shift's talked more than Destiny.
Yeah, so a few things I wanted to comment on. Merrick mentioned that the difference between the BLM protests and the January 6th was that BLM has like a legitimate claim to the fact that their group has been.
This guy is like itching to argue like race or fucking racial cop shit. I can tell. He wants to go that.
The government doesn't make it not trying to overthrow the government. It's just doing it with a reason to adhere to. And so the fact that you want that, you think that reason is legitimate, doesn't mean that their treason is less treason than the Republicans' reasons of what they think is legitimate. If they're taking land from the American government and preventing any type of policing of that land, it's literally successful treason.
Oh, by the way, Kira, I don't know if I showed you my mag before. Maybe I did. I forgot. I changed my mag. He's an actual like person thing now. Isn't he cute? Look at him. Also, let me add a new form. And this is the seasonal mag they made. They put like a little coat around him. I'm not gonna use it though. Yeah, I got like a bunch of mag forms now because they added like a whole bunch of them. There's the tails. Let's see. There's a Wheatley. I actually had that one before. Some of these I already had, but I just didn't use. This one's new. I was gonna use this one. As long as he's not that Walmart one you were using. Fuck up. Yeah. I was gonna use this one, but I settled on this one. Actually, the first one I wanted to use was where is he at? Where is this fucker at? This one right here. But I couldn't change his eyes or like the lines on him from yellow to like white or like blue or something. And I really didn't like the yellow, so I didn't go with this one. So I went with this one because blue just looks better than like that mustard pea yellow they had. Look, somebody took my old favorite outfit. What the fuck? What up? No, stop talking to me. Fuck off. Stop moving. Come back here. No. Wanted to check out your character. Fuck. It looks like that Knights game. Oh. Let's see. But yeah, there's a bunch of farms I got, like this one, the other version of that one, and there's like this one right here. Oh yeah, I was thinking about using this one too. Wait, no, was it this one? Either this one or this one, but you couldn't change the colors. Hold on, let me zoom in. Yeah, like either this one or this one, but you couldn't take off the little hand thing on that guy, and the colors were purple, and you couldn't change it. Because some of these, you can't change the color on. Also got this one. Pretty cute one. There's a Rappy one. The Sonic one. A Doggo. Whatever this is, like a cat in a geisha, I think. And ones that I already had. I think this one's new. Pretty sure it's new. I forget. This one I already had as well. But yeah, that's on my mags for now. Anything else? Oh yeah, the new emotes I got. I got a lot of new emotes. Let's see. Let's see. I got this one, so I can sleep now. My guy can just sleep. Let's see. Did I show you this one? I think I did, right? I'm gonna go, but it was nice meeting you. Nice meeting you too. I'm gonna call you Juicy? Miss Juicy? I'll call you Miss Juicy. Okay, yeah. I already showed you that one. Whatever. Actual new emotes. Let's see. I got a shit ton that I... Hold on, probably on the next page. Oh yeah, snowball fight. This one's nice. Just throw snowballs. Pulling snowballs from sand. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got this one too. I like this. Just fucking snacking. There's the other version, the girl version of it. You eat a onigiri. What else? So many emotes. Oh yeah, trick or treat for when. Oh, whoops. That's the one. Here we go. That's for Halloween. Next time. Survey. Actually, you can just look at it here. God damn it! I don't even gotta use them. So yeah, there's survey. What else did I get? A dignified greeting. I already had that one though. Did I show you this one? I don't think I did. I might have. I've had this one for a while actually. I just didn't really use it. Segway Lamau, yep. Man, remember when segways were like the coolest thing on the planet like fucking 10 plus years ago? Holy fuck. I remember like all the fucking like tech nerds at like Google and Facebook and like Twitter way back in the day were like the cool kids for having segways on the campus and stuff. No? It was like a long time ago when like segways were like the new cool thing to have. I'm talking like 2010, maybe even earlier. Okay, Grandpa, shut the fuck up, okay? Aren't you older than me? Let's see. I don't think I showed you this one. You can like float in water. This one. Let's see. Alright, on to the next ones. New emotes. Lather up. Like, wash stuff. Take crawl. You've already seen that one. Then like a soap boy. Let's see. Explain, relax. Oh yeah. The other version of the sleep emote. Oh yeah, I got this too. Just a pose. I keep forgetting which panel I'm on. And here's the girl version of it. Oh! Hold on. I didn't show you. Something very special. I made a girl Kazino. Or Kazuna. So now, like, when I'm like the only dude in like my party or something, I can just be a girl with them. Where's that, Neil? Here it is. Whew. Pretty little thing. Wait, that's the wrong one. Here it is. Oh yeah. Alright. Enough of that. Only the most fabulous girl in PSO2. Don't at me. Alright, what other stuff did I get? This is the other emotes. I just got this one, actually. The Ninja 1 and then Ninja 2, the girl version. You do hand signs. And then turn into like that little green thing on the ground. And the Tatami mat. I only got this emote because I needed. Hold on, where is it? I needed this. For obvious reasons. This will be my new idol. Hold on. Where is it at? There we go. Yep, just like that. When I'm idling in city, this is exactly the emote I'm gonna use. In fact, hold on. Adding this to favorites. Fuck. Hold on. What can I get rid of? I don't really need this. Alright. Recently used actions. What? There it is. Register favorite. There we go. Yeah! Alright, and the girl version. Probably looks better with the actual girl version of me. Yeah. I'll double shoot up an idol. Girl version looks like knee problems, yeah. Yeah. Love this emote so much. It is the best for like idle. I love it. When I'm like AFKing in city. Alright, last ones, whoops. Last ones that I got. Let's see. Oh yeah, chili. You can like freeze yourself. I love this emote. I'm not sure if I showed you this one already. Those are old. Let's see. I already showed you this one. Oh, I just got this one too. Like watching something. And the, oh, one without the chair. So you can get rid of the chair. Nice. No, you just you're just in the air. Those are some really strong fucking legs or leg. God damn. Alright. Poses. Not the coolest thing. I think 4 is my favorite version. Oh, this one. I love this. Hold on. What's it? CI 23 La Laugh. The most fabulous type 2 read them. Type 2 is the female version of the like outfits basically. Type 1 is male, type 2 is female. I did the wrong one, but whatever. Alright, let's see. Am I forgetting anything? Yeah, that's everything for now. Alright. Yeah, that's all my new stuff. Besides, like, weapon upgrades, things like that, which are less interesting, to be perfectly honest. Especially for people who don't even play the game. I got stronger, too. Basically. Anyways.
Case of the BLM case, whereas the January 6th riot was a failed treason, if anything. But I think there's no evidence either of those things were planned, like on the BLM side or the January 6th side. Like there is no federal evidence that the storming of the Capitol was actually planned by any group. It was just kind of a crime of passion that just happened, just like the burning of the police station. I think it's just like any protest, it just got out of hand. I don't think there was any organization that was legitimately planning to do this. And I don't see any evidence presented by any of the investigating organizations that indicate that. To me, it seems like... And
I feel like when I bring up my points, I'm going to totally sidetrack the conversation. Because I think the farther left people here don't want to argue like what happened, and we're just like caught on this like crazy... I don't even know...
A political kind of motivated...
I don't even know what the fuck...
...riot in order to try and push a political ideology. I don't know how we should see those things. I probably don't see them as bad as most other people do. But however we decide to see one is probably about the same as we should decide to see the other. And then of course we should incorporate.
Man, the price for this. Look at this fucking dude. I thought other people would try to undercut me, but no. I set a standard. This shit's expensive for everybody else. God damn. Let's go. You're right, kid. This might actually sell for like 25 mil, although I'm not gonna up it though. I'm not gonna push my luck. 20 mil is more than enough. With 20 mil plus the, how much do I have? 11 mil I have right now. I think I might be able to just buy all the stuff I want from the next scratch. Just Meseta without spending like any cash, which would be crazy.
Great death count and property damage as to how bad they are, but I don't see the January 6th riot as sufficiently worse in any case.
Destiny.
Okay, so recentering around like, rather than trying to quantify damage or look at the number of people dead, I think the reason why the January 6th riots come off as such a big...
I single-handedly got the Warframe market nerfed. You know what? Fine, fuck it. We'll do it. We'll do it, we'll do it. 25 mil. Not even sure who has that much though. We'll see. $25 mil is hard to come by. I don't even think I've ever had 25 mil. Like, all at once at least. I've had like 18 mil that I spent really fast.
Deal to people is because these were unique, and that it seems like the people that were here protesting were doing so specifically to stop a democratic process, and specifically because of messaging that they'd received, like quite literally from the president of the United States. I think that's why there's like a unique kind of bad taste in our mouths relating to January 6th over the entirety of the BLM protests. Not to say that the rioting was okay, although I do think there is a big difference between rioting against a police station versus rioting at the Capitol to overthrow a democratic process. But I think that it was Trump leading the charge, essentially, with the propaganda from the top down about how the election was insecure, the election was stolen, you need to fight back into your country, Pence has failed us. I think that when that kind of messaging comes from the president of the United States, and not like in a vague, like, well, you know, like maybe, you know, crime rates are, but like in a very direct, like your country is being stolen from you, like we need to fight back. When that kind of stuff is being said over and over again from the president, and then you end up having a huge protest that turns kind of ugly, and then you end up getting people storming a Capitol building, I think that there's a legitimate cause there for concern, where it's like, well, this is a pretty unique event. It is probably a pretty negative thing that should be avoided in the future, and I think it's okay to look at it in the uniquely
Hold on, let me check.
horrible way that it was done. Yeah.
I had to check to make sure I wasn't watching this in like 1.5x speed. I just forget that Destiny speaks really fast sometimes.
As a uniquely horrible event, not just another riot.
Can I respond to that really quick? So, if you're gonna you know, approach the merits of it that way and say it's uniquely bad because of that, well, like the BLM and Antifa riots are uniquely bad because they attack the very foundation of what America is, and called America a racist country, and said our Constitution is racist, and said, you know, the country was actually not founded in 1776, it was founded in 1619, and really attacked the country to its core. So, you know, if that's what your argument is, actually BLM and Antifa are even worse. Moreover, though, there are some genuine concerns about the election integrity in this country, and so if the lesson that you're going to take from January 6th is that we need to crush these people instead of actually addressing their good faith concerns about election integrity, that's really messed up. You know, actually, public confidence in the election is a really important thing. And when people, when you change the election laws and you get rid of security mechanisms that we have in our elections so that the public no longer trusts the election outcomes, maybe that's a time to think and say, hey, you know, actually we do need people to believe in the elections. Maybe we shouldn't do all of these insane election laws that destroy the integrity. So you guys are taking the exact wrong lesson from it.
What you just said is so incredibly true and incredibly important. The last half, not the first half. Everything in the first half was insane and stupid. I don't know who the fuck you're even talking to for it. But for the public needing confidence in the electoral process, that is incredibly important. Unfortunately, the undermining of that process came from the big man himself, came from Donald Trump. If you're looking for
Democrats changing the laws.
It did, because half the laws that you guys claim, you didn't even know when they were changed. Not to mention that every single one of these laws were tested in court, because of course every motherfucker was suing. Fucking states were suing. States were suing other states. I think Texas was taking other states to court to try to get their election.
Every single claim for election fraud, literally every single one of them across the entire nation failed. The big lie was a big fucking lie, okay? None of that shit was real. We tested it in Republican states, in Democrat states, and moderate states. And fucking, we tried it literally everywhere. Did any of them reach the Supreme Court? I think one of them did, and even there, it failed, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, if this conspiracy shit is so crazy that it won't even fly in like Republican states in the current like political climate we have, you best believe like the big lie is like one of the craziest shit like things we've had in the history of this country, bro. Like, I cannot
election laws challenge. So you better fucking believe that if there was a law that somebody didn't like, there was a federal challenge to it. And guess what? All those federal fucking courts, you know, love him or hate him, Trump did a really good job at appointing judges to him. But despite all of the federal judges that were appointed by Republicans, despite all of the Trumps that Trump and Trump's cronies made to get some of these things overturned, despite all of the other challenges to the processes, despite all of the other evidence of the videos of the ballot box stuffing, despite trying to take it to the Supreme Court, all of these systems that, ironically enough, you said earlier, Republicans had no representation. They did have representation. They had both halves of Congress. They had complete control of the executive branch, and they had control of the judicial branch. The idea that through all of this, they still didn't manage to get any single noteworthy challenge through. And you're still going to sit here and tell me the election wasn't secure, despite the fact that Barr himself rebuked Trump, despite the fact that the FBI, alongside Barr, investigated these machines and said, no, they look pretty secure to me, despite the fact that every single intelligence agency that commented on these issues said, nope, everything looks secure. You're going to sit here and try to peddle shit about how, like, Democrats hyped up Russiagate while you're fabricating responses from Trump about our election machines when he's probably never even stepped inside an election booth. Like, come on. You have no valid, you have no actual reason to say there's a genuine concern. No, you have no reason to say. You have no. Hold on. Let me finish my response before you ramble again. Okay? You're trying to say there are genuine concerns about election integrity. There are no genuine concerns. There are a lot of concerns by Americans, but only because they were misled by Trump to believe it. And that is my entire basis by which I say the January 6th stuff was horrible, because it was uniquely horrible because a bunch of Americans, apparently you included, were misled by the President of the United States to think that their country was undergoing election fraud, which never was proved to happen by anybody, including Trump's entire government. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Destiny is completely right there, to be honest. Like I said before, the big lie is just the big fucking lie. Anybody in chat want to debate me on that, we can, but I'm sorry, you're just fucking wrong.
So you're conflating two things, and you're talking about something that I wasn't talking about. So there's one thing is having mechanisms in place that do not allow us to verify whether the election is free and fair. For example, not checking voter ID. Not requiring signature match. If you don't check voter ID and you don't check signature match, then it becomes very hard to say at the end of the day that was a free and fair elections. You're talking about whether there was hard proof later on. Here's the thing.
Don't most states not even check ID? Pretty sure there's like multiple states that don't require you to check ID already. And even in states that don't really check ID, there's like very little, if any, like election fraud ever even shown to be. In fact, wasn't it one of the most popular, not popular, but like, I think it was one of the few election fraud cases we found during the 2020 election was like actually some person from who like voted for Trump, who like tried to do multiple votes, something like one through mail-in and then one through like actually go on there or something, and then like she got put in jail for that, or like convicted for that. Like I don't know, the election fraud just doesn't really happen.
It's very difficult to prove,
at least like not even in the multiple orders of magnitude, like as fucking far right people would like you to believe.
Fraud, especially when you've got laws in place that make it even more difficult. For example, not requiring signature match, not requiring voter ID, et cetera, et cetera. So when the Democrats for 20 and 30 years, and you're talking about the courts not, accepting challenges. Again, that's a different thing, but more importantly, it's the Democrats and leftists that have infiltrated the courts in a lot of ways, where you've got judicial activist courts that are literally throwing out voter ID laws and saying voter ID laws are invalid and things like that. And so, that's what's driving this. Democrats for 30 years have destroyed the election integrity, and so now you've got people that don't trust the election because we don't have these security measures.
Did you trust the election when Trump won?
I've had concerns about our election.
No, hold on. Were you on Twitter saying, I don't know if Trump's election was legitimate because he won?
I never question. I never said that.
Because you're a partisan hack, right? You only care about the election results that don't agree with you.
I never said that about Biden's election either. What are you talking about? I never said that.
The thing is that like nobody cried election fraud when Republicans were winning in landslides during the Trump terms, right? Nobody was talking about checking signature matching or voter ID. Like, we have these laws all over the country. They're different from state to state. We have yet to prove any major election fraud. Every time it's looked into, my understanding is the two times it looked into, it was Republicans that were committing more fraud than the other. Was it in North North Dakota or another one where there's like a box of ballots or like you always get these like random stories, but anytime they go to try and find all this election fraud, they typically don't find it. Like it just doesn't seem to be a thing. So like if you want to cry, that we need voter ID or we need signature matching, and you know what? I won't even say that's crying. I think there could be arguments there. That's fine, but holy fuck, you are more than 20 stones throws away, okay, from there was election fraud because of mail-in ballots and the election was fucking stolen, okay? Saying I did not get my voter ID laws, that's not the same as there was election fraud 100% and the election was stolen. We need to go and riot in the fucking Capitol. Then why are you talking about them? Nobody's talking about voter ID law here.
Yeah,
why are you okay with the down ballot races? Lecture,
how many
why are
years
you
did we
okay with
deal
the
with-
down ballot?
Okay.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'm just gonna keep this on. I'll use the bathroom. Be right
Okay,
back.
1 second. Okay, I want to make sure that we get the other people on the list to talk, which is going to be Shift, then actually IRI, then Cam. Shift.
Okay, I made this reference during the Hippy Dippy recruitment podcast, so I'm gonna do it here too.
boy.
Tom Scott did a beautiful video on election integrity, and he brought up the case of Estonia and the idea of electronic voting as the most secure way to run an election. And there's a caveat with that. Obviously, you don't have to actually commit election fraud. You just have to make people think that there's election fraud. Any bad actor can pull that off. Fan, I understand where you're coming from where you say people don't have confidence in their elections. That is a very good point. However, not only did I fucking address that earlier, like, I don't know if you're not listening to me or if, like, I'm going crazy here, because I said, I get what you're coming from. I do. Like, I swear to God, I do. But any of the actions of January 6th had jack shit to do with actually appealing to the correct people to actually get their concerns, like answered. There was no evidence of fraud the same way there's no evidence that anybody planned January 6th. And then you have the nerve to say, like, or I'm sorry, now I'm just coming into the entire conversation. Somebody had the nerve to say something about BLM and Antifa being worse than by objective measures it being worse, and to validate that with, well, whatever they're fighting for doesn't make it a difference. Like, yo, so when, and I hate to keep going backwards, but apparently y'all like to skip history class. So 1964 to 1965, the civil rights riots that caused LBJ to pass, I might be wrong on that, the Civil Rights Act. Like, at some point, marginalized groups have consistently been at war with the oppressive systems of police officers, of government, to get them to enact actual change that will do better, since the people in the country seem to not want to do better. So, like, Antifa, BLM, let's stick to BLM because Antifa's a whole nother rabbit hole. Like, is BLM not an extension of that? Are we not saying there's still issues that you did not address? There are not laws in place to protect us from these things happening? Are these things happening at all? And I will repeat for the last time, yes, they are happening because I exist in this world. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty loud too. Hold on, let me. I have this YouTube video at 30%. Jesus Christ. I'm nasty. Why am I nasty? What? Turning it down some more.
I don't know what you want me to, how you want me to, like, get this across to you, but BLM has a legitimate cause. Are there actions matching that cause? Fuck no. Are there bad actors within it that have more power than the people on the ground who are actually
Wash
talking?
your hands? I did wash my hands. You just can't hear anything because I have RTX voice one that blocks off, like, basically all the background noise. Did you even hear my toilet flush? Even though it's like, what, like 20 feet away? We've been through this. Like, I can smack my mic and you won't even hear it. Watch. Literally, like, smack the shit out of my mic, but you probably barely heard it, right? Like, yeah, I washed my hands.
About what needs to be changed.
It's cold water.
Absolutely.
It was really cold too, actually.
But, like, January 6th is nothing more than a 8chan poster talking about I'm Q and I want to, like, come on, man. And I'm gonna end it on this point because somebody said it and it pissed me the fuck off. The statement "stop killing black people" is not a political statement.
Okay, now gonna throw it over to IRI, who's actually next. Then Cap.
Listen, lecture fan, I love you, man. I've known you a long time here, but you know you trust the results of the down ballot races, right? You accept that all those elections went fine where Trump was at the top. And why do you have no issue with states like Florida and Texas? Does it happen to be because Trump won those states? Is it just states that Trump lost that the problem is? I mean, really? Come on, bro. Attorney General William Barr, as Destiny said there was no widespread fraud. He had no reason to do that. Trust me, I'm sure he looked real hard to try to find some. And in fact, most of the cases we've seen of voter fraud is people trying to vote for Trump illegally. And where is that pesky Kraken, man? We're still waiting.
Okay, Barr also said that mail-in ballots are the most susceptible to voter fraud, as did the Jimmy Carter Baker Commission. Everybody that's looked at it said this. All mail ballots are more susceptible to voter fraud. And then about the down ballot races in Florida and Texas, notice that I have not sat here and said that I believe 100% that there was mass voter fraud and that Trump won the election. I never said that. What I said is that there are genuine, legitimate concerns about these laws that Democrats have put on the books in various states over the last 20 to 30 years that have led to a massive drop in the public confidence in elections and have led to January 6th and riots and people engaging in violence.
You know what?
Your guys' response to that, your guys' response to that, instead of addressing that on a good faith basis and say, hey, you know what? It is insane to not have voter ID. It is insane to do all mail ballots and send them out, just sprinkle millions of ballots out across the land and then hope they come back and everything's fine. That is insane. Let's address this and let's address these good faith concerns and try to raise no, instead of that, you attack people and you keep pushing these insane laws all so that the Democrats can win elections, because you know what? You guys need uninformed, ignorant people voting that don't have any. That's literally how you got Democrats win elections.
That's not true, because there are more Republicans than Democrats in all courts across the United States right now. Sorry.
Okay, so this is like to everybody in here across the aisle. Can we stop like pretending that it's just Republicans that sow distrust in election integrity? And Destiny, you said this earlier, that it came from the big man himself, Trump. And I think you'll probably agree with what I'm about to say. It's definitely coming from Democrats too. I mean, we dealt with the Russia hoax for how long? That led to an impeachment, which I would argue is worse than a bunch of morons storming the Capitol building with no clear plan. Because an impeachment trial actually can result in the ejection of a legitimate president. And they didn't just do it once, they did it twice.
Okay, first of all, when you say Russia hoax, there's two different ways that we can go with this. In terms of Russia actually flipping votes, that was never the main contention. The main contention was that Russia was operating with foreign agents within the United States without proper disclosure, which they were. And the Mueller investigation turned over those indictments. It revealed some of those organizations were working here. The most notable one being the it's IRA, Internet Research Agency, I think is who they were called, that were running a whole bunch of social media accounts that were trying to influence Americans to vote a certain way or to undermine confidence in the electoral process. If you're calling that a hoax, this stuff was real.
Do you think that Trump colluded with Russia and had some kind of organized campaign to make sure that he was installed as the president? Because that's what he was impeached for. Am I wrong?
The second impeachment had to do with the Ukraine stuff. At this point, I don't even. IRI can speak the first one. It's been a long time.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the Ukraine stuff. You're right. That was the Ukraine phone call, and that was also bullshit. So
wait. The part where he threatened to withhold aid that was already approved by Congress. That was bullshit. That was all fabricated.
Yeah.
He did nothing wrong.
What?
Nothing wrong.
Wait, he did nothing wrong, or it was all fabricated? Which one? I'm getting two different answers here. So he didn't threaten to withhold the aid, or he did threaten to withhold aid, but he had the right to do that as a president?
We have the transcript from the phone call. Everything that Democrats are saying about it, was the made-up part.
I don't even think that he mentioned withholding aid in the phone call, like, at all. Did he? I mean, it's been a long time since I've read the transcript.
Without jumping to the whole Ukraine issue, let's say somewhat center focus, because we were already on the Russia hoax stuff, which is already still off topic. Okay, there were credible issues that were brought up in relation to Russia having some level of penetration into our media atmosphere in ways that we were not aware of. I mean, if we don't believe this, I don't know what to say. You can read the results of any of the Mueller investigations or any of any of the digging there, and that is a fundamentally different thing. Lecture fan, you sound like you get all your news from Facebook. Okay? You're like a prime target to this, okay? But that's a fundamentally different claim than saying that like the votes were actually rigged, which is the claim that Trump is making. That would be more akin to a Democrat saying like Russia rigged the votes. Sure,
Destiny, but Okay, so you're right. The first impeachment was the Ukraine thing. You're right. That was my mistake. I'm sorry. But there were definitely Democrat politicians in this country pushing the lie that Trump was colluding with Russia to ensure his installment as president. Absolutely, 100%.
Sure, there might have been, but like in that case, do you want me to I'll condemn them both. I'm going to condemn both of them before I'm going to give Trump a pass on saying that the election was stolen, right? So I don't know what the point of this is.
I don't think the election was stolen, and I said, like, when I said that, I thought you'd probably agree with what I was about to say, but like I just don't want this like feeling that it's just Republicans that are
Democrats said Bush stole the election. System. Democrats said Bush.
How have you not brought up Bernie getting robbed? That's the standard right-wing talking point, right? You're supposed to bring up Bernie got robbed.
It's not like Trump is a Pied Piper. People have been worrying about so-called voter fraud for decades, and now more than ever because we have a dishonest country. We have a dishonest establishment and a media. So it's a legitimate concern, and Trump was not, it's not just because Trump lied to them, quote unquote lied, and I don't believe that he thinks that he's lying, by the way. It's people who are seriously concerned about it.
I mean, like, first of all, Trump, like, when Trump is literally making phone calls to governors.
Destiny, you're going to finish your statement, then we're going to wrap this up. Merrick and Paradigm, you raise your hand, so you'll be the first to do any statement.
Was it the Georgia governor that Trump literally called saying, like, we need to find 31,482 votes? Like, how can you think that this is a good faith effort to investigate the electoral process rather than just trying to win the election? And also, as IRR said, it's so interesting to me that all of the votes for Biden were fake, but all of the down ballot votes that voted for Biden but then voted Republican lawmakers, all of those were legitimate. Like, it's so obviously selected for based on the partisan hackery. I don't know how you can see it as any other way. And then again, like, we have had so many independent organizations, I mean, within the federal government, like our intelligence agencies, the fucking FBI and the DOJ, all looked at the election shit. How the fuck is there all this goddamn widespread fraud, but nobody can fucking find it anywhere? When I feel like I'm getting a leak out of the White House every fucking week with a brand of toilet paper that Trump wipes his ass with, how the fuck is there all this coordinated, top-down, bottom-up, widespread fraud, but nobody fucking found any? All I had were the same shitty 3 videos that were shown over and over again with a box sliding under a table where somebody's like, there they are, that's all the fucking ballots. Like, they were the lost fucking ballots from the ship of Atlantis that sunk off the Florida coast with the fucking hanging chads. Like, what the fuck? I don't know how you can make the claim over and over and over again that all this fraud happened, but it's not reported, we don't see. Where is it? Where is it? That's what I want to know.
Here's the point. When people commit fraud, they try to hide it.
Lecture.
Oh my lord, this guy's so dumb.
Please listen. Okay, so we're wrapping up. If you want to make any statements, you can. Don't worry. Merrick, apparently her cat turned off the computer.
How long was I watching this?
So we're gonna start it with paradigm shift for wrap-ups.
All right, closing arguments. I did learn a lot just listening. At least I learned like what other people think. I heard a lot of bullshit. I'm not gonna cut it here. I heard a lot of bullshit, and Destiny and IRI cover this way harder than I could ever. So I'm just gonna say again, stop killing black people is not a political statement. Is there reasons to believe in election fraud? I'm going to bring up Estonia again. Please look up Estonia. Please look up their voting systems, and it will give you a perfect representation of what happened in this country on a very small scale and how it can escape outwards. As far as election fraud, there has been no significant evidence of that. As far as January 6th and how we will remember it, I think that we're going to have this issue of people trying to downplay it because the severity of it doesn't hit us that hard because we are in an information age. We share things through computers, through social media, and it's easy for us to have so much discourse that it seems like another regular day. This was an event unique to itself because it stood in opposition to the systems that we believe in and that we trust above all. There should be no distrust in this market because we were literally watching, you've had, Destiny said it already, you've had multiple people look over the votes. You've had recounts. You've had court cases. You've had this. You've had that. You've had phone calls where you've literally heard people saying, "Yo, can you help me get these votes?" Like, if the words coming out of these people's own mouths don't tell you that there's just no issue and people ran on a lie, then I don't know how to make you empathize with like the years and decades and centuries of abuse that America does to its own citizens through the same legal system that you wish now to tear down because it didn't give you the man you wanted to win.
Okay, next is going to be the Catwoman.
Okay, I'm sorry. I actually don't know where we're at now since my cat decided to turn my computer off. What's happening? Ending statements?
I fucked it up.
Okay, closing statements are, I think that there is an abundance of evidence that shows that there were several paramilitary groups there. There was lots of planning across lots of social media sites. I realized that I probably should have clarified that 8kun is actually 8chan. It's literally the same website. I can understand why it would come across as obscure and why I was very confused as to why we were acting like this is not like a well-known website. But it was all over Twitter, it was all over Facebook. We know there was planning, we know that there were far-right influences there. We know that President Trump heavily encouraged it. We know that the purpose was to get them to stop from certifying the election. We know that there was the intention of people to murder senators. We know all of these things happened, and I think trying to say that it wasn't really that big of a deal is disingenuous cope.
Okay.
Tempesta.
Next,
You
we're
know
gonna
what?
throw it
Oh,
over to
Tempesta Blade.
T-Jump.
Was not expecting to be next. All right, so yeah, I'm still just seems to be like people think they have justified reasons to try to overthrow the government. The BLM side thinks they have a justified reason. The Republican side thinks they have a justified reason, and they both try to overthrow the government in their own ways. One tries to overthrow the judicial branch, and one tries to overthrow the congressional one. So I don't. Again, I'm just not seeing a difference. Like, number of deaths is higher on the Black Lives Matter side. Property damage is higher on the Black Lives Matter side. They've actually successfully taken land for months at a time away from the American government. I mean, how should we see the January 6 riots like pretty much the same as the Black Lives Matter riots? They're not significantly worse, so we should treat them both as bad because they're both bad, and we should try to like change things by electing people to not be idiots, which is tough, but I don't see that we should see that.
I mean, like I said before, this guy is only half right. Like, they're both the BLM riots. The protests were fine. The riots, I don't agree with either. But to think that like they're equally bad when one is like destroying random businesses, whereas another one is literally trying to like upend the democracy of like the entire country by killing, or at least but by killing, maiming, or taking hostage like the 100 leaders of our country. Like, I think that's just insane. Like, to think that those are even in the same realm of, like, badness is fucking crazy to me. I don't know.
This is significantly worse than the BLM riots.
Okay. Next is going to be Lecture Fan.
Okay. Well, I like how Destiny pretty much admitted that the BLM and Antifa riots, in terms of number and property damage and death, were way worse, and then claims, oh, well, it's because it was trying to interfere with an undemocratic process. Well, the Electoral College is undemocratic. Democrats say the Electoral College is undemocratic all the time. They cry about it all the time, which, if that's the case, so is the U.S. Senate. And guess what? That's on purpose. A constitutional republic is about having individual rights that can't be interfered with, even if the majority wants to interfere with them. So there's a reason we have a constitution, and there's a reason we don't just, democracy is, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. It's not a good system. It's called having a constitutional republic. But the point is, frankly, the best argument for objecting to the electors on January 6th was actually the fact that a lot of these states changed their election laws without going through the legislatures of those states. And so you've got Democrats unilaterally changing the election laws to make the elections less secure, and then running these unconstitutional elections and getting rid of things like signature match, getting rid of voter ID, accepting ballots after the election is over, doing all mail ballots, doing all this crazy stuff that's obviously going to destroy people's confidence in the election, and then being surprised when people don't trust the election results. So look, we need to secure the elections. That's the most important part. And thank goodness we've had a lot of state legislatures following the 2020 elections that have passed new laws to provide new security. provisions in our elections, and I think that's a great thing. And we think we need more of that. We need voter ID. We need verifying citizenship. We need to not have all mail elections. We need to have people show up on election day. We need to keep ballots in a single room. I mean, that's how you have a secure election. You have all the ballots in a single room with poll watchers and people watching. People come in, they show their ID, verify their citizenship, they get a ballot. You don't just, you literally taking a helicopter.
Well, I gotta combat this propaganda because literally everything he said is just wrong. I mean, like, you can have more security if you want by like doing like voter ID and like forcing everybody to go to the polls directly, but like there's basically been no evidence to show that, like, even with mail-in ballots, that voter fraud increased by any like percentage that actually matters. Like, in fact, I don't think it changed at all. And the few cases that we did have usually were on like the right-wing side of stuff anyways. Like, voter fraud just isn't a problem. It's a made-up problem by the right wing that like wants to make people mad about fucking nothing so that way they can do other stuff, I guess, like lower tax rates for the rich while saying that they're like lowering it for everyone, I guess, and some shit like that. I don't know.
And dropping ballots, millions and millions of ballots, just sending them out, and then allowing ballot harvesting and people going and picking them up, and it's all kinds of problems. And it tells you everything you know. When Democrats, in order to win elections, have to allow paid ballot harvesting, and they don't require voter ID and getting rid of signature match, what does that tell you when that's what the Democrats want? And the reality is that having a secure election actually protects the right to vote, because the truth is that when you're a citizen and you validly vote, if there's one other illegal vote, then they just took away your right to vote. So it's actually the conservatives and the Republicans that want to protect the right to vote.
Okay, next is going to be IRI.
Well, I think January 6th is a really sad day, honestly. A lot of these people were duped and misled by dear leader at the top as he gleefully watched them violently assault police officers for 3 hours in hand-to-hand combat, and sat at a little table on the side of the Oval Office and enjoyed it for 2 hours. And the January 6th Select Committee is just getting warmed up, my friends, so hold on, the ride's about to get bumpy here. And the FBI their investigation is still active, even though this Cam guy has said multiple times that they haven't found anything. I don't know if you know how the FBI works. Again, I hate to teach you some stuff, but maybe you learned today. The FBI does not release evidence when they have active investigations, period. So I understand they haven't come to a conclusion yet, but it takes time when you have 1,000 people break the law at the same time and desecrate our Capitol Hill. And you know what? As these people have admitted their guilt in court and been sentenced, almost every single one of them has admitted that they were duped and they will never again be involved in politics, and they can't believe this happened. So it's kind of weird to hear Hake talk about how these people actually really believed it and felt it when most of them admit that they were wrong in the end. And finally, I just want to say, when Trump won, I accepted it. I wondered what happened. I was curious, did Russia do something? I felt like, whoa, Russia pulled a fast one on us. But then we had the Mueller investigation. I said, you know what, let's wait and see what happens here. I wasn't sitting there going, you know what, Trump's not the president, and there was so much election fraud, and release the Kraken. I accepted that Trump won. And you know what I did? I got involved. And I worked hard, and we got 81 million of my friends to come out and vote for Joseph R. Biden as our new president. So it's time to accept it. Like Joe Biden said, you don't just love this country when you win. You gotta love it when you lose too, and put in some hard work. Get working, Lecture. Start knocking on doors, buddy.
I'm there.
Okay, next is gonna be Hake.
God bless.
Okay, so the downplayed BLM insurrection and terror attacks across the country.
Oh God, Jesus!
About those, those blacks who are complaining, and the other.
He's trying so hard to make it seem like the BLM riots were fucking like as bad as attacking the capital of a nation. Jesus Christ, I can't.
Others who are grandstanding on their behalf, they need fathers. They need morals. They need character reform. They don't need police reform. And so they don't have a legitimate complaint because they need to look at themselves. We have a cultural problem of hate and blame and excuse making. And the relatively minimal violence of January 6th there pales in comparison to that of Occupy, BLM, Antifa, quite obviously. And especially when you compare the average conservative rally versus the average liberal one. Conspicuously, Antifa's Black Bloc was absent from this big protest, this Stop the Steal rally on January 6th, except perhaps those, maybe some removed their Black Bloc to reveal some MAGA gear. I don't know what that was about, but I saw that on Tucker's documentary, Patriot Purge. I don't think there's a serious investigation on what really happened. A lot of people who were convicted groveled to the government and liberals under duress, on advice from like liberal public defender lawyers, trying to get a lesser sentence, trying to get out of jail. Those were not serious admissions of being duped. The only big lie is the lie that everybody buys across the board, across the aisles, of anger. You don't have a right to be angry. We don't have country integrity, much less election integrity. We have open borders. We have mass immigration. We have, since the 60s really, we have dishonest coverage, fake cries of racism and sexism. The real Americans are disheartened at losing their country.
There's like no
so
racism.
It's not just voter fraud, it's just the country's being
This guy's
subverted
bought
and
into like
changed
every single
before their
conspiracy.
eyes by people who don't have morals,
It's all of them.
their same morals and freedom. The January 6th Select Committee is a joke. It's a bunch of Democrats and 2 failed Republicans. The FBI and so-called intelligence establishment, they're a bunch of liberals and rhinos. They're anti-Trump people. We all know this. They were constantly working against Trump. Biden and Pelosi and the rest of the phony politicians, they're clearly politically motivated phonies who have no concern about whoever's right or whoever gets hurt. All the people, again, are too busy hating one another over their false ideologies to care about the real truth or show love toward the marginalized Trump supporters.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw it over to Destiny.
Yeah, so I mean, like, everybody likes to try to look over at the BLM stuff because I think they know deep down that the January 6th stuff is pretty indefensible, even though they'll try to defend it while also playing whataboutisms with other types of protests. The January 6th stuff, I think, was uniquely bad, as I said before, because we were basically getting propaganda, conspiracy bullshit from our president, from the president of the United States. And anytime you have the actual president of the United States, the guy that arguably has at his fingertips more information about probably any part of the world than any other individual ever in the history of all of mankind, when this guy is peddling bullshit and it causes your own citizens to try to rise up and overthrow the democratic process of electing your next leader, a process that is just, I mean, fundamentally important to the functioning of our country, I think that's always going to be a pretty monumental event. I think it should be seen as a monumental event. I think it's pretty sad that there are some Republicans that still try to downplay it. And yeah.
Okay, Cam Higby.
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, I don't condone the January 6th riot. I don't think it was a good thing. I think it was bad. Shouldn't have happened. But it really was a small splinter group of the people that were actually there. 90% of the people were not doing anything right. But that doesn't change the fact, as we talked about earlier, that a lot was done by that small group of people when we talked about the 7% of peaceful BLM or 7% of violent BLM riots. Now, like I said earlier, I think the reason that everybody wants to compare this to the BLM riots, and I generally try to stray away from this line of argumentation, is because it is similar, right? And they happened very, very close together. The BLM riots were objectively worse, and they didn't get nearly as much attention from members of Congress, and some of the members of Congress even condoned these attacks.
Still trying.
Everyone else is gonna monologue. Why not take a bit more time? I don't know. I was just going to like talk and for like 30. Like, let me talk about everything I know about this subject for the next 5 minutes. I don't know.
Still going on, and they don't release information. Well, they clearly released a progress report. It was reported on by Reuters, and they literally said that they have no evidence that it was coordinated again a year later, and 1 year of investigating this. As you put it, the largest investigation in the entire country. In 1 year, they found nothing. So what does that tell you? The next thing you said, the January 6th Select Committee is just ramping up. Okay, well, like Hake said, it's a joke.
Why is it a joke? Because it's a one-sided committee investigating something that they're all using as a political showboat with no opposition whatsoever. They've got Kingsinger and Liz Cheney, who both side with everybody else on that committee, and they have no challengers whatsoever. And Nancy Pelosi actually denied the challengers, Jim Banks and Jim Jordan, which caused basically no Republicans to be on that committee except Cheney and Kingsinger, who really aren't Republicans. Yeah, what else did I take notes on? Yeah, this is a joke. Destiny said that it's like a whataboutism. I don't agree. I think that there are things that are similar, and people kind of connect them and are outraged by the difference in reaction to the two things. I don't think somebody said that it was heavily encouraged by Trump. I don't think that the actual riot was heavily encouraged by Trump. I think that he has some part in, like spreading the election fraud lie. But he literally said just prior to the attack, go out and let your voices be peacefully and patriotically heard. Him and his son had 4 months been at their protest, praising their supporters for being peaceful in a time of like so much political violence with the BLM stuff. So yeah, that's about it that I have to say. Oh, and Republicans are not trying to tear down the system. Like somebody said, Republicans are trying to tear down the system. If that was the case, the system would be torn down because it only takes 3% of the population to overthrow the government. Obviously, they're not actively trying to. There hasn't been an attack since last year.
What?
Okay.
It only takes 3% of the population to overthrow the government? Wait, it says who? Where is that stat from? What the fuck?
So what I'm going to do for this next topic, I'm going to put a 30-second timer on intros and outros, and
just don't even do intros, dude.
So that,
30 seconds is still so long.
Okay,
it's like 5 fucking minutes. How many of those are?
We're coming on another anniversary, and that is in about 13 days. It will be 1 year since Biden was inaugurated as president of the United States. And so my question is, how do you review Biden's first year?
Dude, IRI is going to be a monster on this one.
I'm going to start with.
All right, I can't do this anymore. We're doing a different conversation. I'm starting to get bored. All right. This one's crazy. Talking about white genocide. And apparently some person said they're lucky their parents were slaves. Whew. Now this is a spicy conversation. This one might be interesting. Pyramids?
Or the demographic replacement of those of European descent is a phenomenon that every Western nation faces. Originally, those who spoke about this topic were branded as conspiracy theorists. However, the reality of white people becoming a minority in their ancestral homelands is no longer regarded in that manner. Now, rather than being called a conspiracy theory, white replacement is openly celebrated by the establishment, the media, those in the corporate sector, those who control social media, and leading liberal commentators. White replacement is taking place. The only two issues up for debate is whether this replacement is part of a planned and concerted effort to reduce white people to minorities, and secondly, whether white people becoming a minority is a good thing or not. However, when I say these issues are up for debate, that is rather erroneous, as all forms of debate on this issue are shut down by the mainstream media, social media companies, big business, and even governments attempt to criminalize those who push back against such demographic change. This fact alone is enough to prove that white replacement is not just an accident, but that the powers that be endorse it. But let's look at the UK figures on demographic replacement, as they are very illuminating. In 1950, there were fewer than 20,000 non-whites in Britain.
So the conversation started out of nowhere. I think... So Destiny is talking to somebody on... Man, I need to find somebody else's content. I was trying to react to Politically Provoked. Like a debate between two other people. But then their channel got deleted by YouTube. They got their channel suspended by YouTube. So I was trying to react to, like, I'm trying to find other people's like debates to react to, but they all either stop uploading, have really boring conversations, or just fucking get their channels deleted because they're so fucking out there that the website doesn't even want them on there. Like,
the vast majority of whom were first-generation immigrants. In other words, they weren't born here. These people made up just 0.04% of the population. By 2011, the time of the last census, the non-white population of Britain had risen to over 8 million and accounted for around 13% of the population. To put this into perspective, in just over 60 years, the non-white population of Britain has grown over 400-fold. This is a planned social experiment on an unprecedented level. And to put it into a historical perspective, more people arrive in Britain each year under the current government than arrived here between 1066, the last time we were successfully invaded, and 1939, the beginning of the Second World War. Mass immigration, which is the primary means by which this demographic change has been brought about, is not natural, it is a post-war phenomenon, and it was completely manufactured, managed, and accelerated by the establishment for political, social, and financial purposes. So that just leaves one point up for debate. Is this demographic change good? Well, white people all over the world, and especially in the UK, have consistently shown they don't want this change, whether that has been demonstrated in polls, in their habits such as white flights, or in voting patterns. Despite this though, both sides of the illusory political divide have supported this demographic replacement, and the constant narrative from the mainstream media is that white people must accept immigration and embrace it, or else. The consequences of this replacement for white people in the UK have been, on balance, profoundly negative. Whilst white people are constantly told that minorities must be given special privileges and a leg up, when white people become a minority in towns and cities, they do not benefit from their minority status. They receive no protections and are often treated appallingly, as worse than second-class citizens. And the establishment and the media are regularly complicit in covering up crimes against white people that are perpetrated by those not indigenous to the British Isles. If white people are reduced to minorities, they will not be celebrated and protected, but instead they will be a hated and despised minority that will be repeatedly blamed for all the ills and all the failings of the multicultural state in which they live. I advocate for the UK and for other Western nations to remain places where people of European descent are a supermajority, and where their cultures and traditions remain dominant. And I believe this is not just best for Europeans, but it is best for all peoples from all over the world.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Getting us started here. Destiny, again, welcome back to the show, and you can go ahead and do your opening.
Yeah, when people talk about white genocide, I think the biggest hang-up that they have is establishing the intentionality part. I think that there are a lot of reasons why immigration benefits a society, especially economic ones. And I think that there are a lot of people that support immigration throughout all of society, all without having white genocidal reasons. So the establishment of an intentionality, I think, is a pretty important part of genocide. If we agree with the I forget which conference it was that established like genocide as a thing, but the intentionality part is pretty important. One of the reasons why, or the main reason why talking about kind of white genocide, I think, is a pretty boring topic, or a topic that isn't very relevant to modern day debate, is, or even political conversations, is that there's not really anything you can do about it at this point. The idea of trying to block all immigration based on a certain skin color, or the idea of even getting the majority of the public to support such a policy is basically impossible. And I think that the framing around a lot of these topics, there are secret people trying to get white people to be a minority, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't think it's very productive to getting to an actual good place in terms of public policy or discourse. I do agree that there are problems, even problems faced by white people uniquely maybe, in certain countries in the West, but I don't think that the solution to these problems is some fantastical border policy that has zero chance of passing in almost any relevant country. I think that instead it's probably better that we talk about those specific problems and then the policy positions we would need to adopt to address those problems. And then that's all I got.
Now, what do you say to that, Mark? He kind of just says not even. He didn't say it was not a big deal necessarily, but the ship has kind of sailed on.
Oh, he didn't really say anything, did he?
No.
I mean, he didn't really say anything other than, well, it's sort of going to happen, and you can't really stop it, and that's it.
Well, white people becoming a minority is going to happen. The white genocide.
So wait.
Yeah.
So let's establish this. You do believe that white people will become a minority. That is actually happening.
When you define white people with the one-drop rule, then, like, mathematically, of course, that's always going to happen. If any amount of Hispanic or black blood makes you Hispanic or black, then you're necessarily going to have a minority.
You don't need to say 1,000 words very quickly.
Your opening speech is like 5 minutes long. I don't know why you would accuse me of that.
You don't need to say 1,000 words very quickly.
Okay.
I'm just trying to establish you are accepting that white people in Western nations are becoming minorities. And the likelihood is that if trends continue, white people in nations like Britain, France, Germany, United States, wherever, will be a minority and will no longer hold majority status. You agree with that?
Based on how you define white people, yeah, of course.
Based on how I define white people. We're not going into Sargon-esque definitions here, are we, Destiny?
Well, if a black person and a white person have a child, what kind of child is that child?
Mixed race.
What would you consider mixed race would be non-white to you, right?
Mixed race would be mixed race. It's
well, hold on, no, hold on. You can't push me on an answer and not answer a very simple question. Would you consider a mixed race person white or non-white?
I'm answering the question. It's quite simple. Whenever a child is born that is mixed race, I classify them as mixed race. I classify them as somebody who's of mixed race origin. It's generally the media and the establishment that defines anyone who is mixed race as black. So, for example, Obama is not black. Obama is mixed race, yet he is widely categorized as the first African-American president, when in fact he's mixed race. I'm saying they're mixed race.
Obama's definitely
and when
black,
we
but
say
okay.
that white people are going to become a minority, that obviously means that people of European descent, who are wholly of European descent, will become a minority. That's quite simple.
Sure, but by that definition then, isn't literally everybody being genocided? Black people and Hispanic people and every other minority group? Because the more interracial marriages that happen...
What a ridiculous point.
Hold on, I need you... Oh, wait, hold on, wait, I didn't even finish my question. I know that you might be used to steamrolling people. Do you want to talk to
I'm not used to steamrolling
Sure,
people.
well, let me finish my question. Let me just finish my question.
You're getting away from
I'm not being slippery. I just want to... The problem is, by the certain premises that you lay out for the argument, you're almost begging the question, right? So if any person that has a child with a white person, if that child is considered non-white, and if we have multiple ethnic groups mixing together, and we're trying to use this framing to say, well, there's a white genocide happening. Well, if a mixed race child is not a white child, and you're telling me now that a mixed race black child is not a black child, they're mixed race, then it kind of sounds like everybody's being genocided. Now, I don't think you want to own that conclusion because obviously it weakens the white genocide point, but would you not agree then that if a lot of Hispanic and black people and white people are all interracially marrying and having kids, that kind of every race is being genocided?
No, because it's different, because what we're talking about here, we're talking about nations where white people are either indigenous or white people were the founders of those nations. And the white people in those nations are being reduced to minorities. So here in Britain, white people are indigenous. So the English, the Irish, the Scots and the Welsh are the indigenous people. And they are being reduced to minority status. You don't have, say, Nigerians being reduced to a minority status in Nigeria. So it's a completely different point, you know it is. You're just being intentionally slippery. And what I'm trying to establish is that you do agree that white people in Western nations are becoming a minority.
Okay. So
it's a yes or no, really, isn't it?
Okay, well, so I understand that you have a dialogue tree that you usually like to run people down. Don't call me slippery just because I'm trying to engage with your questions on more than just yes.
I'm not calling you slippery because you're trying to engage with my questions. I'm calling you slippery because you're not trying to engage with my questions.
So initially, you said that there was a planned genocide of white people. Okay, you said there was a planned genocide of white people, and then you said mixed race children don't count as white. That's fair. Okay, we might end up agreeing finally on everything you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure we have all of our terms and everything straight. Okay. Now you're telling me that it's not so much that white people are being genocided; it's that the indigenous or founders of a certain nation, which may be white people, are being genocided. There might be minority genocides going on as well because of interracial dating and children making and everything, but you don't care as much about those genocides as you do about the white genocide. Is that?
No, what I'm saying is that I don't believe it is a good thing for white people to reduce to minority status for a variety of different reasons, which we can get into.
Okay.
But what I am clearly stating, or trying to ask you, is you accept that white people, people of European descent, are becoming minorities in Western countries?
That seems to be the case, yes. If we are ignoring mixed race children, then yes, white people seem to probably be becoming minorities in percentage of the
Okay,
population.
so we agree on that. We agree on that. So what we probably don't agree on then is whether that is intentional. But what I would say to you is, are you streaming this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many subscribers have you got?
Why is that relevant to this conversation?
I'm just asking. Just ask.
40,000.
40,000 subscribers. What, watching now, or? I thought you had more than 40,000 subscribers.
If you know how many I have, then why are you asking me?
Because it's interesting to see. You see, the point that I'm getting to is a lot of this can be seen as intentional simply by the effort that the establishment, including
is he calling Destiny
social media,
establishment now?
The mainstream media and the government, the effort they go to actually prevent not people talking about white people becoming a minority, because that is something that's accepted now. Stop people complaining about it. So, for example, you're on YouTube with your many hundreds of thousands of subscribers with a monetized account, and you are admitting that replacement migration is taking place. But because you favor that, you are allowed to keep your account. Whereas people like myself, who spoke within the law, within the legal limits, about similar things, and obviously speaking within the legal limits in Britain means that any YouTube account would easily be within legal limits in America, get completely taken down. And that does prove that there is a major drive by the establishment, which big social media companies are part of, to silence people like myself who disagree with white people becoming a minority, whereas voices like yourself, who actually celebrate this, are amplified.
Okay, so a few things. So one, when you say admitting that replacement migration is taking place, I don't know if you mean replacement migration in an intentionality point or not intentional. That's a pretty important part of that. In terms of admitting replacement migration is taking place, I think everybody it will quote unquote admit this. It's not something to be admitted. You can just look at statistics. Anybody on the left or right, any economist, any sociologist, anybody will say, well, yeah, of course, necessarily as more people from other races migrate and people intermarry, there's going to be a less proportional amount of white people in any given majority white country where immigration is coming from non-majority white places. Number one. Number two, you say within the law, within the legal limits, it's not really relevant to YouTube or any other types of online conversations because they don't function as an arm of the law. They have their own individual terms of services, which they can or cannot ban people for. Now, we can have a discussion on what those TOSs should be, but any appeal to legality is not really relevant when we're talking about what's allowed or not allowed on certain platforms.
Awesome.
And then finally, the conclusion that you draw is a massive non sequitur. Just because a conversation is blocked in a certain platform doesn't mean that people are implicitly admitting that that conversation is true. There might be a whole bunch of people getting banned.
No.
Let me finish my response. I wrote down everything.
Go on, man. Keep squeaking.
I'm not squeaking. Okay, calm down.
You are squeaking.
Are you okay?
You are squeaking.
Can I finish my response to you? When you jump in on personal attacks and you call me slippery and stuff, I'm giving you advice. The appearance to both me and the audience is that you feel like you're weak on your points. You have to attack me personally because you're not used to engaging with somebody that can actually address your points. Okay, I'm just sure
for squeaking and slipping out of things.
Okay, I'm just putting that out on the floor. You can engage that if you want to or not. Okay, so the third thing that you said is a non sequitur, right? Intentional efforts to suppress a certain conversation does not necessarily mean that that particular topic is true or people don't want to admit it's true. For instance, if YouTube decided to ban all talk of like, I don't know what you believe now, but like of Hillary Clinton being a reptile, just because they're banning that talk doesn't mean, wow, obviously she is a reptile because it's getting banned. You need another connector there. That doesn't logically follow. Okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That is exactly what you just said.
Not.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, on YouTube, and it's not just YouTube, you just said a single platform, it's every platform. It's every platform. So you have YouTube, you have Facebook, you have Twitter,
I'm not sure
you have all social media sites,
better,
except for sort of renegade social media.
It's kind of boring so far. We'll keep listening.
Media sites like say BitChute or Odyssey or Telegram, which are pressured to follow suit and to some degree have to with certain commentators. All of them hold a line whereby people are encouraged to celebrate this demographic change. And I'll give you an example. There are videos on YouTube of content creators saying, oh, I went to London and white people are a massive minority in London and this is great and we should celebrate it. This is fantastic. Yet, if you go to London and say, well,
we're making it 10 million.
White people, they're a minority here now. I think London's lost a little bit of its character. It's not as British anymore. It's not as English. Then you would be banned. And that is done on a blanket level across mainstream social networks. That is done on a blanket level in the media. And what we are seeing here is anybody who advocates for white people to remain a supermajority in their ancestral homelands is being shut down, which does point to there being intentionality, because there is a widespread campaign to stop white people organizing along ethnic lines and to stop white people advocating for their own interests, whereas every other racial group is allowed to advocate for their interests and is actually encouraged to organize along ethnic or racial lines.
Okay, so you restated what I just said was what didn't logically follow, but I'll restate it and then you tell me if you agree or not. I guess we can move from here. So you're saying that because people are banned from a multitude of platforms for trying to talk about X, since they're banned from talking about that, X must be true. This is basically what you're saying, right?
No. Do you want me to state what I've said again, but quicker? So we're not like eating up the entire debate with me just stating facts.
Yeah, say it again, but quicker. Yeah.
Right. You can talk. You can talk on social media about whites becoming a minority, but only if you support whites becoming a minority. So social media doesn't ban you from talking about whites becoming a minority. They only ban you if you disagree with that happening or wish to in any way advocate against that. So this isn't like some mad thing what you're trying to paint it as. You're trying to say, well, if YouTube bans you from saying Hillary Clinton's a lizard, that doesn't mean Hillary Clinton's a lizard. No. That's what you're doing there is you're drawing a false equivalence to try and derail this into some kind of comedy because you can't answer what I'm saying.
I'm trying to understand your question. I'm not trying to derail anything, okay?
But I don't understand how you can't understand it.
Because, for example, like there might be an editorial where they talk about the browning of America or whatever, or they talk about, you know, whites are going to be a minority, and I've seen these myself, and they're celebrating it, right?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking, what do you say about that though? Like, I mean,
it's cringe. I think it's cringe. I think there's a lot of dumb shit that gets banned because of what advertisers think is friendly or whatever, or what the most people will support without canceling somebody. But I agree that a lot of that is cringe. However, just because platforms, even if it's every platform in the world, is not platforming a certain type of speech, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is some truth that those people are getting at. There could be a variety of reasons for why they're banning that speech, not just because they're trying to hide the truth. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, wait. You have just earlier on in this very debate accepted that white people are becoming a minority. You support that. You are a multiculturalist.
This guy's a fucking moron.
Hence,
this is going to be a painful conversation.
Your 400,000 strong YouTube army, make lots of money, have monetized videos. But if somebody came on YouTube today, if I started another YouTube channel, I had 100,000 subs, mine initially got shadow banned, then
this guy's supposed to be like a really famous like neo-Nazi or whatever. So I was hoping for a little bit more.
Say exactly the same, come from the same starting point as you do.
Just saying the same shit over and over
but then say we disagree with it happening, are banned. So what you're seeing here is a concerted effort across all platforms to stop anyone talking about demographic change.
I've acknowledged all of this, but what I'm saying is, because you're trying to say that because that's happening, either people don't want people to know that it's true, or they're banning it because there's some intentionality there that they're trying to hide. What I'm trying to say is there's an alternative explanation, and it might just be that this particular type of speech is so unpopular that there's pressure on advertisers not to host this type of speech.
But it's not so unpopular. It's not so unpopular because when I had a channel, I had videos with millions of views. When I had a channel, I was gaining 1,000 subscribers a week until YouTube shadow banned it. There are plenty of people out there talking about this that are very popular. It's not that it's not popular. Trump got kicked off Twitter. He was very, very popular. He was the president. Yeah, it's not a matter of popularity. This isn't just down to some sort of series of unfortunate coincidences. There is intentionality here, and you only have to be a mildly intelligent person who can join up dots to see that.
What I'm trying to tell you is it's possible that you can get views, you can get like millions of views in videos. What I'm saying is this particular type of speech is so unpopular, not that nobody will see it, but there's enough of a public backlash against it that advertisers might want to say, hey, we don't want to be involved in advertising here, or we don't want to be involved in this particular thing. And that sort of public pressure is usually what gets this type of content delisted.
So you're saying now you can have millions of views, you can have a 96-97% positive ratio, people love your videos, but you'll get banned because the 3% who are disliking your video are so powerful that the advertisers will listen to them, YouTube will listen to them, and your speech goes down the toilet.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and we'll see if you can engage in good faith. Do you think only 3% of people in society are offended by views related to white nationalism or ethnic majority white people needing to be a necessity for the future of countries' destinies? Like, do you think only 3% of people in society are offended by that? Because you made it sound like just because you're getting 97% thumbs up or whatever doesn't necessarily mean
videos with millions of views.
Doesn't necessarily mean that the overwhelming amount of people support that type of speech or even want to see it on these types of platforms.
But you see, what you're saying here is that there is a group of people who are undefined, who are apparently seeing these videos that didn't like it but didn't say anything about it, and because of that group of people the videos have to be removed. Well, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's the same with Trump.
No, we'll keep it.
You know, huge amount of support, roughly half of Americans supporting him, maybe more depending on what you believe, removed from all social networks. Now that tells you that this isn't being done, this mass deplatforming isn't being driven by large majorities. It is being driven by small vocal minorities or a tiny minority of people who are in control of platforms that have a very politicized agenda, and part of that agenda is ensuring that white people don't advocate for themselves. I don't know who that tiny minority of people could be, but I'm sure somebody in the chat can help us out with that.
So you legitimately believe then that that type of speech, that over 50% of people that are on YouTube are in favor of seeing stuff related to like white nationalism or white supremacy, that these are ideas that they would find palatable to be on YouTube or Facebook?
I didn't say white supremacy. I said white people advocating for their own interests. You then injected white supremacy to make
it's
my
very,
point
very,
seem
very
more salacious.
hard to find one without the other, right? I can have a conversation.
I'm not a white suit. Where
I don't know if you are or not, but half of what you said in this conversation is like kind of not true. So for instance, when you say white people can't have or advocate on their own ethnic lines or whatever, I've had conversations about it before and I haven't gotten banned anywhere for having this conversation.
When I say white,
but hold on, but like the problem is that oftentimes this is paired with other types of speech, and that's why these people end up getting deplatformed. Is they're not just saying like, hey, like, you know, black people have their own groups, Asian people have their own groups, like Asian people, a whole bunch of different people. Why can they have their own group and white people can have their own group? I've had conversations like this before, and I don't get deplatformed on any of these platforms. So my guess is that when you say, well, you can't have these conversations, it's because there's usually other things that go along with it, like the little joke you just made about, well, there's a certain minority of people that are controlling these things. I wonder who they are. That's generally the case.
No. Number one, you don't get deplatformed.
I don't know. I did. This conversation is kind of boring. I might just go to like the politics fucking Discord server and just try to find a conversation there. But then again, it's kind of scary to stream there. It's pretty scary to try to stream there. I might have to do that offline because, whew, that server is pretty fucking edgy. I'll say that. I wonder if my soccer blade already sold.
Come again.
Oh yeah. It's already going down in price. All right, fine. Put it back at 10 mil, but that's the lowest I'm going for this thing. I should have just kept it at 10 mil, honestly.
Come again.
so much shit. Oh yeah, did we get any? We got a SG scratch, right? No, it didn't come out yet. It's later, I think. I have a lot of SG right now. How many do you need? 40? So you just need to spend 2,000 to get what you want. Nah, I'll save it for an SG scratch that I actually care about. One that I actually, oh yeah. Is there anything? Oh yeah, I already got that stamp. I forgot. Are there any stamps that I don't have? Hold on, let's see. Any stamps that I don't have that I would actually, that I still want to buy, actually. I'm in the wrong area. Stamps, there we go. Trying to make sure that I have all the stamps. As long as they're worth. Oof, 8 mil for that. I don't know. I don't think that's worth. I might be fine with not having that one. 8 mil is a lot for that. Wait, are there any more that I don't? Hold up. Because if that's the only one that I don't have. Whoopsie. Whoops. Jumbo stamps. Yeah, Emilia Praise is the only one I don't have. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some off-stream farming because this conversation does not seem like it's gonna be very interesting, like at all. And I don't think I can stream the Discord server because it's pretty edgy there. And I don't want to get banned from Twitch because someone said the N-word or something. So, yeah. As usual, if you like the content that I do and you want to support it, you can support me on Patreon or you can sub to me on Twitch. I try to stream here. I'm thinking Monday through Thursday will be my official schedule, especially when I get back to work, like 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Give or take, like an hour or two. On the back end, because I should be getting home at like 10:30, streaming at 11, getting off at like 2 or 3. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see